Shabbat Shalom to you, Mishpacha, awesome tribes of Israel. So Rabbi Simon Alter from North America, Ohio, and Rabbi Kefa, of course, on the other side. Shabbat Shalom to you. And all the people joining us this morning. A great day is over here. It's nice and sunny, a little windy. I think we had a few storms and we had a few tornadoes not too far from where I am, down in Dayton. But fortunately, there was some damage. 5 million people without electricity. Other than that, no major damage. I believe that the electricity was out, then they're restored back. And if I'm reading correctly, then there was one death that occurred in Dayton, and a few people got injured, but they got hit severely. As you know, Oklahoma got hit severely with thunderstorms and tornadoes. But as far as I'm concerned, where I am, where my feet are, this town where I am, it was quiet as a mouse. Didn't even hear the sound of wind over here that night. And then the other side was being, hit by all those tornadoes. Baruch Shem Yahweh for His safety and for His security and for His love and protection. And that's how it should be. That He protects us, He loves us, He keeps us safe and secure in His everlasting arms. So we'll kickstart it a little earlier and the other folks come in. Let me see, our Parshas today is RSAHK Parsha Bechuktai, in the book of Leviticus. Let's see our joke. A priest invites his rabbi friend to join him in the confession booth. A penitent enters on the other side, saying, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned this week." "Very well," the priest replies. "Say 3 Hail Marys and put $5 in the collection box." The next penitent says, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned 3 times this week." "Very well," the priest says. "Say 3 Hail Marys and put $10 in the collection box." At this point, the priest feels the call of nature. "Why don't you take over for me while I'm in the loo?" he tells the rabbi friend. You see how it works. Nobody will know the difference. Soon another penitent enters the booth. "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned twice this week," she says. "Go back and sin again," the rabbi instructs her. "We've got a special this week, 3 sins for $10. Okay, so before we come back to our Parsha, I think that most people will be preparing for the festival of Shavuot based on the lunar cycle. I think that's in a couple of days' time. And so those of us who've already done the Hanukh festival based on the Hanukh calendar, we're done dusted. But those of you who haven't done it, you may be still waiting to do it, so yours will be in about two days' time, and then you're going to do your lunar-based festival. However, just an advisory note that if those of you who have celebrated 1 time with the Enoch calendar, you can do it 2 times with the other calendar as well. There is no restriction that says that you only have to do it with 1 calendar. You can do it 3 times if you want, if it's 3 times in the same year. So that's what used to happen in the old days. A person would be celebrating the festival in one place, he'll be traveling, he'll arrive at another place, and they'll be celebrating the festival at that particular place on a different day, so they'll celebrate it again. This is pretty common. People say, well, why are they doing it on one day and the other people on another? That's purely down to the calendars they used, and this has happened throughout our history. We've always had calendar conflicts where one party said we're going to follow this calendar, another one said we're going to follow this, and so you had different people doing the festivals on different calendars. I'm pretty sure the Christians will be doing the Pentecost based on the Jewish lunar calendar as well. Other than that, some of them will probably be doing it on the Bali calendar. There is another calendar where they go and look at Bali in Israel, and that calendar is slightly different. and it varies by a few days. And so they would probably either have already have celebrated it, or maybe they're in the process. So I know that there's another calendar floating around. So many calendars. Okay, so I'm going to give you a testimony this week. I thought it was a very important testimony and a beautiful testimony, and I thought it was very relevant because it was a great testimony. I have a student in Orlando, Florida, who shall, I did speak to her personally the other day, and I got the testimony from her because I just got a very quick email saying, she did give me a quick email blurb, and I then phoned her and asked her to give me a little bit more details as to exactly what has happened, so I can give that as a testimony to the people. Well, she has been probably a student for a short term, not very long, and when I say short term, she probably only started earlier in the year, in January, and she came to my way of teaching, knowledge and understanding. So I did speak to her a few times on the phone, instructed her what she needed to do, and she followed with the instructions. She has the book as well, the Law of Attraction versus the Perfect Law. She has that book. She went through the process in the book. She did the ritual bath, the abundance bath, and she did the other things that she was asked to do. And she is a very avid script writer. She writes a script in the morning, 5 o'clock, as she is instructed. And she told me that she wrote everything down of her goal 10 times. And she told me that she has manifested a 5-bedroom property in Orlando. And listen to this. She didn't have the money to even buy it, but she manifested it. She sent me pictures of this beautiful house, and I sent the pictures to Rabbi Kefa. I said, look at this manifestation. And I sent the picture to Rabbi Zachari as well. And so, 2 witnesses see that property. They're like, this is a beautiful house, double garage. And so I asked her, I said, what method did you use other than what's described? Did you use anything else? She explained to me that she used the exact method that I taught her, and she told me that, of course, she gives gratitude daily. She got the house. They're moving in. I believe they're moving in this week. And not only did she manifest the house, she actually manifested a brand new car as well. And there's another thing, but I'll come back to that later. And she was telling me that I asked her, I said, what about the monies on this house? How did you manage to negotiate those? She said she was explaining to me that the way this house came about is that the sister had some cash, spare cash, and the sister had told her that she didn't have enough cash, so the sister had told her that she could use the sister's money and give her back whenever she had the money. And so it kind of like worked in a way. Then she had a friend who would loaned her cash, and somebody else wrote her a check, and so it kind of all hooked together like that. And she got her property, and then the car was an unexpected blessing. And the car, she had a slightly older car that she gave in, and they gave her a newer car. And she said they made a mistake. Of course, all mistakes that are made are done through the hand of the universe, through God Himself, and they're there for your benefit when you start applying these methods. And she said that the mistake she made, she actually ended up about $3,000 better off on the car purchase, because they gave her a discount, then they gave her another discount of $3,000, and they shouldn't have given a discount twice. But because they had made that mistake, they couldn't go back and change it. Then they offered her $15,000 on her old car, and she ended up walking away with a brand new car, with very reasonable payments on it. And I think she was telling me the car, Infinity, I think it was an Infinity car that they got. It's a Chevy Infinity. And so I asked her, I said, well, I know you have something else in the pipeline, right? She said, yes, I do, and it's a business. And I asked her, I said, what may that business be? I know is there a dollar amount so that for our testimony purposes? She said, yes, the business is in the pipeline, the dollar amount in that business is $500,000 annual business of some kind. So she'll come back with that another time, but she's working on that. Having said that, what was interesting about this whole thing, that this person did not start with wads of cash in her hand or in her bank. There was no cash. I remember one day she phoned me. She said to me, "I want to win $1 million tomorrow." And I was like, well, in order to win $1 million tomorrow, you got to apply yourself. So she said, "Okay, what do I need to do?" So I spent a good 15-20 minutes with her, explaining to her what she needed to do to start bringing money into her life. So it looks like it's all happening for her. Things are shifting, things are moving in her favor. She was very, very happy. And I asked her, I said, how, when you did the visualization technique, how did you do the technique for your house? So explain to me so that I can put it in my book, my next book. Because I had spoken to her prior to my book, of course, and we had this conversation in the air. Our conversation was that when you get what you are looking for, I'm going to put your testimony in the book. And she said, "Yes, Rabbi, I will be sending you my testimony to put in the book." And so that's what I was confirming with her a couple of days back. And she explained to me, she said, when I was looking at this house, it's a beautiful double garage house. She said, when I was looking at this house, just as you told us and you taught us, I was looking at myself in the house, living in the house. I was seeing my children climbing down the stairs, and I saw myself in there, walking in the house, sleeping in the house, being in the kitchen, being in different areas of the house. I was giving thanks to God for the house. I was saying, thank you, Lord, for this house, for this blessing, for this wonderful things that you're giving me. And she said, I was doing all of that daily in my visualization, and boom, it came into my life, and now I have it. So I'm so happy for this person. I'm very, very happy for her that she has acquired this house. I think it is absolutely great, fantastic manifestation. And I believe that, like I keep saying, that it is within the realm of everybody who wishes to acquire a house or wishes to acquire the car. It is within the realm of possibility for you to do so. But it is up to you how you go about. If you follow the method that is written and explained the method probably over several lectures going back to December last year. But if you followed the book, the method is explained in succinctly what needs to be done through the law of attraction versus the perfect law. Once you apply yourself, there's absolutely no reason why you should fail. There's just absolutely no reason for that. It should be straightforward. And because things will just start to shift and you will know it. So the key thing out of all this takeaway is, number one, is, as I explained, is that you have to do your daily script. Your script must state your top goal. Now, if you have top 2 goals or top 3 goals, your script needs to state the top goal that you need to desire to fulfill in your life. Now, this person did that to the letter. She wrote the top goal down and she put it down 10 times, repeated it with gratitude. Very important. Now, I say to people, because people get tired of writing with the pen and they say, "Oh, my wrist hurts," or "My hand hurts." So I say, well, if you find that your hand hurts, you don't want to write too much, you're getting a writer's block or something, or you're getting pain, there's actually a way to overcome pain on your wrist. But that's another, that's energy manipulation, energy. I can manipulate the energy and I can teach that, but right now this is not the purpose of this lecture. The purpose of this lecture is, Shabbat Shalom to you, Rabbi Zakaria. The purpose of this lecture is to explain to you that how important that writing is. Because when you write in the morning, and you write, and she only focused on that one goal, the house, because that was her life. She wanted that house no matter what. Because she wanted it for children, and she wanted it for her husband, so she wanted that house desperately. And desperately meaning, it wasn't desperate, but her desire was focused on the house. And so she focused, she said, I wrote my goal particularly down for the house. Once my house goal is done, now I can focus on the next goal. So if it's too much writing, as I say to people, that, human beings can be, so lazy. They just don't want to do something. They want things to just come into their lap and don't want to do no work for it. But you have to do some work for it. I'm not asking you to go climb a palm tree. I'm asking you to do something in your own comfort of your own home, where you live. So that should be straightforward. But I think some people struggle with discipline. Discipline is a big issue. So discipline is one issue. Second issue is time. And then if you don't have sufficient time, you can just use a small time and just do it a bit at a time. But it's important that you do the goals. And I say to people, if you're having a hard time doing 10 times a time, writing a goal 10 times, then I suggest to them do it half the time, 5 times. If 5 times is too much, then do it 3 times. But you got to do it. You can't just say, this is painting and this, that and the other. You can't do that, otherwise you'll never get anywhere. That's a very good question, Olivia D. Should we write it in our own native tongue? I tend to mix French and English when I write my script sometimes. Is a good thing. Yes, you can do that. Absolutely no problem. Whatever languages you understand, you can write it mix. I speak about 4 languages, so I do the same. I mix it up in my languages. So you can mix it up in your languages, because what you write, God understands. So you've got to remember this. We are communicating with God. We are putting this out before God to bring this to pass. So, call God, call universe, call, divine power, eternal source, whatever you want to call God, that is what we are dealing with. We're dealing with God over here, the God of Israel, more precisely. So you can write in whatever native tongues you speak, and you can mix them up, and you'll be fine, perfectly fine, no problems about it whatsoever. I'd encourage you to do that, is to mix it up and write it so that it's easier for you to understand it. And every time you write something, like if you write, like let's say there are ways to write and there are ways not to write, so I can speak about that. Like let's say that you want to get a car and you're writing about a car, and you don't want to say, I want to have a nice car. That's not a good way to write. That is definitely a wrong way to write. I want to have a nice car, or I want to drive my Mercedes, or I want to drive my Ford F-150 truck. That's the wrong way to write. The way you would write and word your goal is important. You would word it in such a way, I am driving my new car, whatever that car is. I'm driving my new Ford F-150 truck. It's a beautiful drive. I enjoy my driving in this truck or stroke car. So therefore it needs to be worded in the present tense. It needs to be worded like you're doing it. So it's like, it can't be a want, and it can't be something in the past, and it can't be something in the future. You can't say, I will drive my new car, because when you say, I will drive my new car, it means it hasn't happened. That's a negative. It's not working for you. So you do not say, I will drive my new car. You will say that I enjoy, you will say to the effect of, I am enjoying driving my new car. So yes, Rabbi Kefa, that's a good way to say it. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm driving my new car. So you can say, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm driving my new car, or I'm so thankful to God that I'm driving, or I'm so thankful to the universe, if you like to use the word universe. I'm so thankful that I am driving my new car. It's a beautiful drive. I enjoy my car. Words to those effect. And need to be, you can make it short. Don't need to be, too wordy, or a paragraph with about 6 lines in it. That's a lot. That's too much. If you start adding details, or it has leather seats, or it has this trim, or it has that. No, don't need to do any of that. Just simply put, you can say, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm driving my car. I am enjoying the drive daily. It's a beautiful drive. That's it. stop. That's your goal. So you can write that easily. Easy to write that. If you want to manifest, if you want to bring that car into your being, you can bring it into your being by writing it out 5 times if you desire, or 10 times, and you bring it into your life daily, by daily doing it, and by then visualizing that car, by visualizing you driving that car, you sitting in that car, you holding the steering, and maybe you have a friend in the car who's congratulating you and telling you, hey, what a beautiful car that you have, what a beautiful drive. So that friend that you invoked in the conversation is to help you manifest that car. Very important to do that, because the secret is that friend. The friend either you invoke in the conversation, who's sitting with you in the car, or he phones you and you invoke in the conversation on a phone call. Now, it's very important that you do your grounding. Without grounding, things will not shift so quickly. So it's extremely important that the grounding technique that I taught you, that you do that religiously. And the grounding, or the other one I taught you, was the chakra cleaning, the 7 chakras, because you may have chakras that are stuck, energies that are stuck. And if your energies are stuck, then you're going to find that it's going to show in a number of ways. Number 1, it's going to show in disease. You're going to have health issues. That will show, if you're getting health issues, that's usually an indication that you have chakras that need to be moved. If chakras are stuck, if energy is stuck in any of the 7 chakras or the meridians, in the Chinese lingo, we call it meridians, the 12 meridians, or the 5 elements. So if the 5 elements, earth, metal, fire, etc., if your energy is not moving, if it's stuck, then that means that your chakras, they need to be cleaned up. And that's what's holding you back, because it could create negativity in your life, and that could slow you down. So if we do that, then that will help you. Now, the thing that you can do, usually, a lot of the times, is people will have heart issues, and we always deal with the heart chakra. The energy around our heart is very important, because that's usually where we're having problems. And because of problems, if things are not shifting, sometimes the central issue is not necessarily that your root chakra is in issue or energy is stuck there. It could be that your heart chakra is not functioning correctly. The energy is not flowing through. And let me pull up my chart, because I sometimes look at. I keep a little. I remember when I did my acupuncture years ago. I had a chart that I used to keep, and then the chart would tell me at what energy flows from what meridian or organ at what time. So there was like a little. I used to keep a little chart that would help to show me. Let me see if I can actually find it here in my little chart. Yeah. So for instance, if somebody said to me, "Hey, I've got pain slightly in my chest area, in my heart region or around that region," somebody would, because I would always ask people, my patients, patients meaning students who came to me or family who came to me, said, "Hey, I got this pain and problem. Could you help me?" And I would say, "Well, what do you mean you got pain problem? Where you got the pain?" "Oh, I got my pain in my stomach region." And the first question I would ask is, as a physician, I would say, "What time is your pain?" And they look at my face, "What do you mean, what time?" I said, "Yeah, I need to know the time of your pain. What time does it start?" And then they will tell me that it starts such and such time in the day or on the night. So I'd say, "Really? Okay." Now let me tell you a true story. This is, by the way, a true story about myself. When I was around 21 years old, and around 21, 22, I'm still a young whippersnapper at 56, but when I was 21 years old, I used to get a pain. I was working in a factory in England, and I used to get a pain exactly 11 to 12 o'clock. A dull pain in the middle of my stomach, around my navel region, exactly at 11 to 12. And it used to be dull pain. It doesn't matter what tablets I took at that point, paracetamol, Panadol, any tablets, it would not go away. So I came to learn about acupuncture. Wow, that was something new to me. I was learning about acupuncture, and then I looked up the chart and I said, this pain that I'm getting is only ever between 11 and 12 in the afternoon, midday. What is passing through that? What channel is active at that time? And I looked, and lo and behold, listen to this. This is a true story. The spleen was active between 9 to 11. That's the spleen time, 9 to 11. And between 11 to 12 a.m., guess which chart is active? Take a guess which organ is active between 11 to 1. Let's just say 11 to 1. Because it's every 2 hours. The energy circulates 2 hourly between these channels. Not the intestines. What was active? You're close. What was active was the heart. That was a problem at the time. So the energy between my spleen and the heart was having a problem. It wasn't flowing. And I didn't know how to shift it. Those days I didn't know anything about acupuncture. I was just a brand new student in acupuncture, and my Chinese teacher gave me a little chart, and I was looking at the chart and I was like, the books I had as well, I was like, my spleen energy is going through the heart energy, and that's where the problem is. That's why it manifested the problem right in the middle of the navel. By the way, that is the area of the spleen, in that area. And people tend to think of spleen as some kind of organ, but the spleen is actually connected to to the organ that produces insulin. And so I was like, okay, so how do I shift this pain? And tablets were not going to do it, because I was only dealing with the surface with the tablets. So I thought about it, and I read there was a little red book. I had a little red book that was a really gold gem for me. And in that book there was case studies of a doctor in China who dealt with all sorts of diseases, cancer, severe pains, heart attacks and other things. And I was starting to read that book, and I came across a theory in the book that if you ever have a pain and it doesn't shift, that you got to use moxibustion on this pain. This moxibustion basically was a heat therapy using a particular herb that the Chinese medicine has, and I had access to that. So one day I brayed myself up. I said, okay, Rambo, let's go. This is tiger time now. So what I had to do is I had to put the moxibustion, I made these little round moxa dried up, herb things. And I wanted to put 5 each around my navel area. 5 on my left side of my umbilical cord, 5 on the right, 5 on the bottom, 5 on the top, about an inch away. Now I had to burn it all the way down. That was the trick. And it will give you severe pain, and it will give you a blister on top. So I had to prepare myself. Okay, listen to some nice music, Rambo music. Get ready for this, burning this moxa down. I was like, wow, I got to burn it all the way down, so I got to take the pain. And so what I did, I then made some Vaseline mixture. I added some gentian violet. I put it into the Vaseline. I put the Vaseline on my stomach, and I put these 5 moxa rolls I made, little rolls that had to burn all the way down. I started with the first side, then the second and the third and the fourth. Now, I knew that this was going to heal my pain, and it was going to shift the energy. But what I had to go through was, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, because it was extremely painful. So I took the pain. I even got the blisters and the marks to this day to prove it. 4 marks on my around my umbilical cord. But I'll tell you one thing, that book that I read, the case studies that I read from that doctor was correct. In that any pain that you have that doesn't shift, and now I know many other ways to shift that pain. At that time I didn't know the other methods, as I was a student of Chinese medicine. So I learned how to shift the pain that way, and I managed to shift my pain. And I tell you what, my pain never came back. It was cured after that one session and never came back. It's been maybe 25 years now, more than 25 years, never came back. So completely healed. in that one session I did. So I know from that study of that book that not only can you cure severe pain like that, but it is a little painful to do the treatment, because apparently in China, if they have a pain in the knee, they burn this moxibustion directly. They don't use a ginger slice, because in the East in China they do it directly, but in the West they use a ginger slice. They put the moxa on a ginger, or they put it on a needle, so they don't put it directly because they don't want to scar the skin. But I was like, I don't really care, as long as it heals me, I don't care about the little scar. So I was okay with the little scar. And I was so rambo about it that one day I said, I'm going to take it on my wrist and I'm going to burn it directly on my wrist and see how strong I am to take this. And I just put the moxa directly on my wrist and I burnt it all the way down. I even have that mark as well. And I let the heat go into my, it was the lung meridian I was dealing with that time. So I just burnt it down just for exercise. So if the Chinese can do it, I can do it as well, no problem. So I just did it. And but I don't recommend you to do that, because it will create a mark that you'll have to carry for the rest of your life. It leaves a little like a little injection mark, like you had an injection or something when you were young, like a polio injection or something. So having said that, so these organs, they have energy. The energy goes from one organ to the next organ, and it needs to shift. And if it doesn't shift, it shows up as disease. So we are dealing with the heart. A lot of you out there who are listening to this MP3, and those of you listening to live, what you're going to end up with problems with, usually, if you're having issues manifesting things, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your heart chakra, your heart center, that is stuck. The energy is not flowing in there. So number one, you have access to the meditation I made on clearing the chakras. If you don't have it, you can write into me at our website address, abrahamic-faith.info or foreverisrael.com, foreverisrael-.com, and then I can send you the recording. The other way to do it, if you're finding it that you're having a hard time and you're having heart emotional pain. Emotional pain could be your girlfriend left you and you're having emotional pain from that. Your wife left you. You're going through a divorce. Some other family mishap happened and you're going through emotional pain, and you can't seem to shift that emotional pain, and that emotional pain is causing you all sorts of issues and problems in your life, in that things are not kind of working straight. And this is what you do. Now, it's very important that you follow this to the letter, because if you don't, then you're gonna not do it right. Always when you have emotional pain like that, and maybe your wife left you and she ran off with another man, or maybe she just said to you, I want a divorce, and she don't love you anymore. Love is kind of dwindled down, and or maybe she ran away with your furniture, as it happens in America. A lot of women do that over here. They run away with your furniture when you're gone out of the city. So and that will be, if I told this story to somebody in England, they'll laugh. They'll say, you telling me that women in America run away with the furniture? I say, yeah. They'll be laughing about this, because that doesn't happen in England, by the way. So British women don't do that with their men. If they break up, they break up. They don't run away with the furniture. So anyway, so what you would have to do is use your left hand. Okay, this is for your heart pain, emotional issues. You having personal problems, personal emotional issues that can really hamper you. Because remember what the Bible says. The Bible teaches a lot of issues arise from the heart. See, when the Bible puts it like that issues arise out of the heart, it's actually telling you a story. But again, it depends, because we just take the heart as some organ, and we think, oh well, the heart is just an organ and who cares, kind of thing. But it says, guard your heart in the Bible, in Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart with all diligence. Why? Because everything flows from it. So this is why it's very important that we guard our hearts. Because if we don't guard how do you guard your heart? Well, you got to guard your heart. You put a little guard around it. Not quite like that. It means that you got to be careful careful, or at least, measure your relationships. Measure the people you end up in relationship with, and don't just, as they say, don't wear your heart on a sleeve and just fall in love with every person that turns up at your door. So you got to, or maybe you turn up at their door, so you got to watch your heart in that, enter relationships that are fulfilling and that are going to be lasting and they're going to build you and not destroy you. Because unfortunately, for better or for worse, and same goes for women and the same goes for men, if you have a bad man in your life, it destroys your relationship. If you have a bad woman in your life, it destroys your relationship. So both ways, both sides go to assess their relationship. So what you do is you take the left hand in front of your heart. Always the left hand. Left hand is a hand that is for removing the pain. And what you do is you counterclockwise circle the left hand against your, just before, in front of your heart, like I'm doing it now. You can't see me, but you go counterclockwise on your heart. And what you're doing by doing counterclockwise on front of your chest, obviously everybody's heart is in their chest, middle of their chest, and you go counterclockwise a few times, and you can do that every morning if you like. When you do that, you're actually unwinding and you're removing the bad energy that is around and in your heart. You're fixing the energy. You're removing bad energy that can cause you emotional heartache. So by doing this left hand thing, you can remove the bad energy. That's very important. And you should do that. Number one. Number two, if you are married, let me tell you something else. If you are married and you sleep with your husband or you sleep with your wife, then of course you will be giving energy and you will be receiving energy. Our bodies have a way of receiving and a way of giving energy, and hence why you may want to consider what side you lay on, because you may be receiving energy on one side and giving energy on the other side. Now, what are those two sides? I just gave you a quick example of the two sides of your body. That your right hand gives energy, your left hand receives, is a receiver, and your right hand is a giver. This is why we do not put the right hand against the heart, because we don't give energy to the heart. We want to remove excess energy that is causing blockage or a malfunction. And usually you'll find, as I was telling you about the chart earlier that I was using, is that between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. if you find that you're getting really emotional, and it's around midday to 1 o'clock, you're getting real emotional and you're getting really teary-eyed, and well, that time, right, is the heart time. That will tell me that your heart is having issues energy-wise. And if you said to me, that I'm having problems at 7 p.m. at night, every night, 7 p.m., I'm having problems in, whatever part of your body, you're having a problem. And I'll tell you that, okay, that's the kidney time. Your kidney energy is not flowing correctly, and so therefore, that time is when the kidney, between 5 to 7 p.m. is the kidneys when it's active, and the energy is flowing through there. Then I'll have to say it's a kidney. And if you tell me that you were sleeping and you woke up in the middle of the night and you woke up with a fright, or you woke up crying, or you woke up with a bad dream, then I would ask you what time. And if you said to me, well, it was around 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, around 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll tell you that that is a yin channel, that is your liver active at that time. Liver energy is active, so your liver is having energetic issues that need to be dealt with. So in other words, now what you got to do is you just got to be little educated. You just pull up a chart. You can Google the charts of your organs, where the organs are, and like I told you, use your left hand and then you go counterclockwise over your organ. Whatever organ is hyper, is got energy that's stuck, you can just simply go counterclockwise with your left hand. If you don't know how to do it, or if you're having a hard time doing it to yourself, you can ask somebody else to do it with their left hand, and they can go counterclockwise and they can help you remove the energy. Because it might be, it might be an area in the back, it might be an area on the side of your body, it could be, other parts of your body as well. Where do you get the chart? I think you're going to have to Google it, because usually you find these charts in books. They're not free charts. You have to pay, good money for them. So they don't usually come free. But I'm wondering if Google has a website, and you can just Google and say a meridian flow chart, or I don't know, maybe another word might be organ energy flow chart or something to that effect. So my point is that I was given this chart years ago by my doctor, and we're talking about 25, 30 years ago I got this chart. 30 years ago I got this chart from a doctor. But that was my teacher, and then I found this chart in other places as well, but mostly in books, Chinese study books, study of acupuncture and TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. So this is why I realized at that point that, this is a very important ingredient, because organs are yin meaning they are more water, or yang meaning they're more fire. So yin meaning no fire, and yang meaning more fire. So organ can be yin. Heart is a yin organ, and the liver is classified as a yin organ. Now the stomach is classified as a yang organ. So this is why you can have yin and yang organs. And a lot of what happens in our body, like a kidney, is a yin organ. A lot of the times when you have problems with your backaches and other problems, is related to kidney energy issues, and so we have to deal with it from an energetic point of view. And usually energy flows clockwise between organs, from one organ to the next. The heart is a yin organ, by the way. The heart is not a yang. And so imagine that, like I explained to you about my pain when I was 20, 22, 23 years old. It was in my spleen to heart. It was when the spleen energy was trying to get into the heart energy, it was having problems, so I was getting stomach pain. That was the indication that my spleen had some issues at that time. So I had to deal with the spleen energy issue. And so, always, this is the way we as physicians can test this, and we can tell you where this problem is going to be. So that's just, something that I learned years ago, and I think even to this day, it's benefiting me to know, what's what kind of thing. But you see, again, you can't just become an expert with one chart. You got to have a lot of the other study that I did, and I did years of study into this medicine, and Western medicine study and Eastern medicine study, to learn about the different ways the body functions. So then I can guide you. Then I can tell you. I could check your pulse. I could check your tongue. I could tell you exactly what's wrong with you. But again, like I said, it's different types of studies that were involved into getting to this point. And that's what makes you a great doctor. A great physician is one who studies patients, studies nature, and then he studies cases. And then from studies of cases, then we can tell what's what, and where the problems are. So having said that, it would be a good idea for you to maybe just pull up a chart, just to get an idea. You might say, I have a pain in such and such part of my body. So the chart will at least help you to understand what organ is there that's causing you grief energetically. We're talking about energetically here. And also understand that any organ, any problems that you have in your different parts of your body, remember, if you have a pain in your body, any part of your body, go counterclockwise on the pain with your left hand. You will remove the pain. You will shift that energy, and it will remove it. So that's a lesson for you. Now let's come back to our Parsha. We'll go to our Parsha next, and we'll see what the scriptures has to teach us. And the scriptures, let me just have a look. Let me pull up my Bible. Give me a moment, please. So we're going to be in Torah Parsha 33 Bechuktai, and we're going to be, from what it looks like, Vayikra 26. We're in Leviticus 26. Let me pull that up, because let me open up the Abrahamic Faith Bible, and then I can find this. Okay, let's see. little slow to the draw this morning. Not as fast as Clint Eastwood on my gun. So okay, so let's pull this up. It's coming up. And Leviticus 26. Malachim back way too far. Torah Parshas. Okay. Vayikra. Okay, let's see. Okay. We'll soon get there. Bechuktai, Vayikra 26. Vayikra 26. We did Behar Lev, I remember. Okay, so it says in here, in chapters 26 of Leviticus, verse 3, if you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit. There's a lot that can be said about this verse, but I'll come back to that in a second. And your threshing season shall extend for you until the grape crop, and the grape crop shall extend to the sowing time, and you shall eat your lachem, your bread, to the full, or your food, and you dwell in your land safely. And I will give shalom, and I'll give peace in the land, and you shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid. And I will rid evil beasts out of the land, and neither shall the sword go through your land. And you shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight. And your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. For I will have respect to you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you. And you shall eat old store, and bring forth the old because of the new. And I will set my tent among you, and my soul shall not abhor you. And I will be continually in your midst, and will be your power, and you shall be my people. I am Yudhevah, your power, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, that is Egypt, that you should not be their bondsmen, and I have broken the bands of your yoke, and elevated your positions. But if you will not hearken to me, and will not do all these commandments, and if you shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that you will not do all my commandments, but that you break my covenant, I will also do this to you. I will even appoint terror over you, wasting disease and fever, which shall consume the eyes, and cause sorrow of heart, and you shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. And I will set my face against you, and you shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and you shall flee when none pursues you. So let's come back to this point. If you walk, if, that's a big if, by the way. So God is making no, uncertain conclusion of a statement. God is very clear over here that you, if you want to benefit through the laws that are established by God for His people of Israel, the awesome tribes of Israel. He says that if you, the awesome tribes of Israel, will do what you're told, that the blessings will rain upon you. But if you don't do what you're told, because these are part of what we call covenantal rights. Covenantal rights are the commandments, statutes, and judgments that God has given us, and Sabbath being one of them. And those are that if you do those things, then God will bless you. The result will be that blessing will come to you. But God says that if you don't do them, then the result will be, there will be the opposite of blessing. You will not be blessed, things will start going wrong, and you wonder what the heck's going on, and you will not be able to fix it by any, stretch of your imagination. So, we got to understand this, that God's laws are wonderful, God's laws are beautiful, and God's laws benefit and bless, and make whole, and make healthy. So all God is asking you, God is not asking you to climb a tree and stay there for the next, 8 hours. God is asking you simple things that you can do, things that you can, manage yourself without problem. Like, for instance, if God says to you, hey, don't eat pork, because it's bad for you. It doesn't tell you why it's bad for you, because pig being one of God's creatures, it has a good purpose. There's nothing wrong with the pig by the look of things. It looks like a beautiful little creature. Even though I may not like its flat nose, but it doesn't matter because it's still a good creature of God. But having said that, my point is this, that is God's creature. We got to respect that, and we do. But the thing is, when God says to you, don't eat it, and that means there must be a purpose behind it. I don't know the purpose. God hasn't explained to me scientifically why I don't eat it, but just says to me, don't eat that because, from what we understood and what we learned, that is bad energy. It gives you bad energy. It can cause you all sorts of problems in your system. It can clog up your arteries because there's a lot of fat in it, and so on and so forth. And it has worms in it, and the worms can be infesting your body, and they can cause all sorts of problems. They can go into your brain and even kill you. So we understood these things years and years later. In other words, through science. Science said, hey, these have this trichinosis virus, and so on and so forth. Fair enough. We didn't know that back in the day. So we just had to believe what God had said. God had said, don't do this. We said, okay, we won't eat pork. We were given the okay for sheep, for lamb, for beef. But we had a variety. Fish. We had a variety of things to eat. And we do that. Now, of course, God's not going to strike you down if you ate pork. He hasn't struck Christians down who eat pork. They're still alive and living, but they are rendered with so many diseases. Heart attacks and disease are the order of the day. Look at how many diseases each person is carrying this day. If you are living in America, look at how many people around you are carrying diseases because they eat pork. And just by removing one element, and we're just saying simply a dietary issue. If you remove one element, pork, from your diet, you probably rid yourself of so many diseases. So hence why my point is that this trichinosis virus, let's take that. If you even put the pork at 400 degrees Celsius in your baking tray, and you bake your meat, pork meat at 400 degrees Celsius, it will still not kill that virus. It will still be alive, by the way, and it will still go into your body. So my point is, something that we didn't know thousands of years ago, we know that today, that will affect us. Well, what do? Do we believe God? Or do we believe the people who want to sell you pork? It's up to you. I certainly will believe God, and I'll say, you know what? I'm not going to touch pork, and I'm not going to eat it because it's going to cause me problems, and I don't know what problems it's going to cause me, but God said don't eat it. That's fair enough. If it's good enough for God, then it's good enough for me. I do it like that. See, a lot of you want answers. A lot of you want, you have questions, you want answers. Well, why shouldn't I eat it? Well, why can't I eat it? Well, what's wrong with pork? It looks like good meat. So, of course, anything looks like good meat. Even snake looks like good meat. I went to China. Years ago, I went to Hong Kong. Then years later, I went to China. In China and Hong Kong, I saw live snakes. I saw live snakes being sold in the street. They just say to you, which snake do you want? You say, I want that green snake in the water. They take it out, and they will roast it. They'll, cut the head off. They'll roast it, and they'll offer it to you in a plate. What do you think I'm going to say? Thank you very much. I'll say, no, thank you. I don't want the snake. Because there's another meat that is not permitted to me. So my point is this, that even snake meat is good for you. Good for you in the meaning that it's meat. Okay? It's meat. So meat is meat. Snake meat, camel meat, and all these other meats. But my point is very simple. Alligator meat, etc. is meat as well. But when God says, don't do it, He's not saying to you because He hates you, or He hates snake, or He hates alligator. By the way, all these could be meat. And they are meat for many people of the world today. But He's simply telling you, energetically and physiologically, they can affect your body. And I understood this point years ago, that we're not to eat these things, not because we're, hey, I'm a Christian, or I'm a Jew, or I'm a Muslim, or I'm something else. No, it was simply because God said don't do it. And I accepted that. Oh, okay, fair enough. I don't know. I'm not, the creator of the universe. I'm not the one who created human beings, and I'm certainly not the one who created the flat-nosed pig. So, piggy bank. I definitely didn't know that. So it was a covenant requirement. And a covenant requirement means covenant requirement. So you cannot break the covenant and still expect to be physically, physiologically blessed in your body. So hence why it is much wiser to err on the side of caution. Why? Because covenants are binding both sides. They're not binding just one side. When you enter a covenant and you have, let's say that most of you entered the awesome covenants of Abraham, you have been promised salvation. You have been promised blessings, commanded blessing on you. But at the same time, you have been given certain things not to do. So you have to follow those. I would say it's logical that you follow those and you at least try to obey God. And if you don't, then all you do is you end up, how shall I say it? You end up. One second. I've got somebody trying to contact me. Let me just send them a text back, so they don't. So as I was saying, that you don't end up with all sorts of problems. Hence why my whole premise in teaching you is, what I'm teaching you is covenantal obligations. Covenantal obligations here, very, very simple, in that you are asked to do what God is asking you to do. God is not asking you to do gymnastics. God is simply saying to you, hey, Simon Altaf, don't eat pork. And Simon Altaf has to listen. And if Simon Altaf don't listen and goes and buys pork with his friend, and he buys a bacon at the butcher and he takes it home and he makes bacon fried and eats it with eggs in the morning, then problem is not God, problem is Simon Altaf. So Simon Altaf God's not there sitting to punish Simon Altaf. God is going to say, okay son, you don't listen to me, then you're going to get what's coming to you. And that means you're going to have bad energy, you're going to have problems in your health, and then it's your fault. And so when you fix yourself, you turn away from these things that I asked you and become right with covenant. Then you will have the blessings, then you will have the good health that you deserve, and so on and so forth. And Baruch Hashem Yahweh, I'm 56 years old. I am in perfect health. Baruch Hashem Yahweh for that. And I have never touched pork, by the way, all my life. Because before, I was a Muslim, I didn't touch it. Then afterwards, when I came back to the covenant of the awesome God of Israel and the Abrahamic faith covenant, I never touched these things because I realized that we're not supposed to. So I was very extremely grateful that I was born into Islam, where they told me not to touch it. So thank God for that. At least I didn't do that. I did that part right, at least. So food-wise, so it was great. It was brilliant. So having said that, so my point is this, that for your blessings, that you need to, absolutely, Rabbi Kefa, it will lower your frequency, it will lower your vibration, and your vibration, when it's low, you're going to find all sorts of problems with your life, with your health. So some of the doctors these days are actually advising people not to eat pork. Not because they're against pork. They're not against pork, because they're probably, some of them used to eat it. They're advising you based on health only, not based on ritual purity laws. And again, ours wasn't due to ritual purity laws, by the way. Ours was also due to health reasons. And hence, at the same time, we were told not to eat shellfish. Why? What's wrong with shellfish? I used to love it. I used to eat it. Then I stopped eating it afterwards. Because again, the shellfish is the same problem. Shellfish are cleaners of the sea. They clean radiation. There was a restaurant in London, going back about maybe a few years ago. There was a restaurant right on the London Thames River, and a very popular restaurant, very popular with the rich. People used to go there, and there was a report that came out of that restaurant that everybody that went to that restaurant one day became sick. They had to shut down the restaurant for a day or two, and they examined the food, and they found out that all the shellfish they had was contaminated with some kind of radiation, and it made everybody sick. So this is very common, that sometimes these creatures that God has created, they are designed to do certain cleanup in the ocean, and if they have too much of that cleanup stuff, then they're going to, guess what? They're going to make you sick. So listen to God. I'm only here to guide you. I'm not here to say, hey, you're going to go to hell if you don't do this. I don't do that Christian nonsense. You're not going to go to hell, but you're definitely going to live a hell on this life, that's for sure. I could guarantee you that your sicknesses are going to be like hell on this earth. Don't go there. You've been given the perfect law. You've been given God's perfect law, God's holy law. Follow it to the letter and to the T. If God says to you, do this, then don't question it. Why should I do this? Do it. Because there's a blessing in it. And there's a commanded blessing on the awesome tribes of Israel. Why shouldn't we do it? So I always say, you are an awesome tribes of Israel. There's a blessing on you, all of you. I don't care if anybody joins Israel or not, spiritually speaking. I don't care about that. But who are with us in the East, over here in the US, other countries, welcome to the home of the spiritual Israelites, and welcome to learning the ways of God and how to benefit yourself. I was so happy to hear about this woman who manifested a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house. By the way, I didn't tell you the number of bedrooms. 5-bed, 3-bath house. Think of the change in that woman's life. I think she's online as well. Welcome to the room if you're still online, because I think I gave your testimony earlier. And so thank you for sharing that testimony, Chadasha. I can name you this time now as well. Thank you for your testimony. It's a beautiful testimony. And 5-bed and 3-bath house, beautiful house. I love the pictures. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you, and for your children and your husband. Why? Because look, if I had made the change in one person's life to help change their life, I think it's just awesome. That people go to church for their entire life. I've seen people go to churches for 50 years, no change. Their lives don't change. But Baruch Hashem Yahweh for this beautiful change that has occurred in one family, and I want to see this beautiful change in all of your lives, world over. World over, I want to see this change. And I want to give thanks for that. I want to give thanks to the God of Israel and praise His holy name forever, that He has given us His ability to have this change. So with this, I'm going to pass on to Rabbi Kefa, and I think I will end my lecture here because I've probably spoken more than enough. Todah, thank you to the God of Israel, and thank you for listening. Have a great week, great Shabbat. Love you all. Take care of yourself. Todah, Shabbat Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.
Todah HaKohim and Chadasha, I celebrate with you. I'm so super excited for you and happy. I saw the pictures, and I tell you what, I was over here dancing like David with my forefather, with Casil. Yeah, that was great. And I would encourage you, you know what I want you to do? I want you to continue to write your script and continue to manifest and attract the desires and the things in your life. Chadasha, this is not the end. This is just the beginning. You and I both know that. So continue on. Continue on. Awesome tribes of Israel. So, you see the rest of the family, the rest of the Mishpachah. This is a great testimony. And there are grander testimonies coming for all of you as well. I want you all to understand that as well. You just keep doing what is necessary. You don't question it, just do it. There's a time for questioning, and I'm pretty sure, it's taught us this many times, and I'll tell you and reiterate that you can't ask questions. Questions are a good thing. But sometimes, questions are inappropriate, and you just need to take action. Because what happens is people get hoodwinked and bamboozled and get shackled by the question. You know what I mean? They'll ask one question, then there's another question, and they can never get on to the action and taking the necessary action on the instruction, proper instruction that's needed to make the necessary changes in their life. And I can guarantee you, Chadasha will tell you just like everybody else in this room that are writing their own script. The script is within you. It's not without. Chadasha didn't go to Hakohim and say, Hakohim, can you please tell me which house is beneficial to me and can you tell me what my desires are going to be and what are my dreams? No, Chadasha had that where? Within her. It's already within you. And this is what you all must understand going forward. And we've been hoodwinked and bamboozled and told and we've been conditioned to think that, to have blessing, you must look outside of you. How many of you had that mentality at one time? to where if you wanted something, you had to look outside of yourself. Christianity and religion will tell you you have to look outside of you. You see, because you are just dust and ash, your dirt, your rags. So what you have to do to find salvation, to find healing, is you have to look outside of yourself. You have to go to the doctor. You have to listen to what Mama said. You have to sacrifice and do things that are detrimental to not only your health but your body. What I want to focus on today is what you have to look with you. The breakthrough, the miracle, it's already built in you. It's in you. You see? You just have to be able to manifest it and first acknowledge it, and then be able to make the manifestations come to you by attracting those things that you do desire, that you do want, that you do dream about. Because at the end of the day, these are the things that are going to make you happy, thus making you increase your vibration, your frequency, your amplification to source energy, to God, to divine presence, to, the source power, the Most High, Lord, God, whatever title you want to give it. But for so long we've been told to connect with source is something that has to come outside of your body. How many of you have been taught that? It's an experience that has to happen outside of you. You see, because you cannot change yourself. Yourself is sin. You're worthless. You're nothing. Do you understand? And to connect to source energy, do you understand, is totally opposite. It's totally opposite of what you've been told. God is in you. He is within you. You don't have to go looking for him in some building. God is within you. Let's be, think about this for a minute. Isn't that true? But people continue to search outside of their bodies. I want to look at the body today. Hakonim was talking about the body, and when you look at our ancient books and you go back to Bereshit, and let's talk about pre-fall. Everything was fine in the garden until Adam's wife decided to do something. And what did she do? She introduced something to her very being. You know what she did? She partook of a tree. Come on, pay close attention to this, because we're going deeper. We're going deeper than just what the awesome history of Israel is all about, and the awesome history of humanity. Hava, Eve, as they call her, and King James. What did she do to affect the excommunication from the garden? What does she actually do? And then what does she actually, make her husband do? Through trickery or through deception or just through ignorance? Because, the husband didn't know. He thought he was just getting another meal. And when you boil it all down, what was it? Something was ingested into a form. I guess you'd call it a body, because these bodies were formed from the dust of the ground, correct? So something was taken in. Think about it. When you look at the story and you get beyond all the spiritual mumbo jumbo, at the end of the day, Eve, Hava, whatever name you want to give her, she what? She ingested, she ate something that totally changed her makeup. Am I correct? And then the husband did it, and it totally changed their being, their makeup. Because what are we told in the story? The first thing that we told in our books is that what? In the history of humanity, is that these beings recognized that they were what, Miss Paul? Come on. That they were naked. Do you all know the story? That they were naked. That's the first thing. They realized that they were naked, and what's the first thing that they did? They wanted to cover themselves up. So what does that tell us? Is that there was a transformation, a change. And, of course, thinking, because before that, they weren't thinking that they were naked. Am I correct? They weren't running around there saying, well, Master Yahweh, why are we running around in this wonderful garden with no clothes on? And blah, 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 and we don't have no clothes. Maybe I should take from the fig tree, take these leaves, and make me the first original pair of underoos. Or the first pain panties. Why are we just, wandering through this lush garden of all the fruits that you could imagine and naked. You see, so listen, this is why it's so very important that we get back to the body. Because we've been told and conditioned in so many of these nations out here that the body's bad. That you are to make your body suffer. How many of you heard that before? Oh, you got to put your body through suffering and God will honor that. Source energy will honor if you inflict and you put pain on your body. Oh, God loves that. He's going to bless you more so soon. Oh, you have cancer. Oh, God bless you. God blessing you. And you gotta be the suffering. You gotta actually. You see, there's some of these so-called religions. They actually cause pain to the body. They'll put marks on themselves, or they'll fast their bodies. They'll afflict so much pain on this, this body. This physical body that you see, that Hakoi was talking about, that energy flows through it continuously. And you can have blockages in it, but energy flows through this form, this shell that you're in, that they call a body. But within that body, there's also another important factor that's far deeper, and you can continue to go deeper and deeper into this, and this is where you all are now. Is that you're realizing that there's inside this body, there's your very being, another B word. The very makeup, the very source, the DNA of El Shaddai is inside the body. It's not the physical body with all the organs and the pancreas and the lungs and the heart. And, that's just the shell. But the inner body is where our focus needs to be on. Because when we begin to connect and have a high frequency and high vibration of the inner body, it affects everything from the outside, from the inside coming out. Thus, many people are searching and they're seeking for truth, blah, 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 and they go in and they burn in all kind of frequent flyer miles and spending all kind of money for truth that's outside of their very being, that they need to be looking on the inside of their body for. And like I told you, 99.9% of the time, it's not expensive to do this. Think about this going forward. It's not expensive for you to take time to meditate, for you to take time to meditate, to pray, whatever you call it, to find your inner being. Now, you're going to have to move some furniture out the way because there's a lot of stuff in the way, correct? You're going to have to move this out the way, get rid of this, burn this, give this the goodwill, get all of these things that's out of the way that have been built up for a very, very, very long time to block you from going back to who you really are. The God source within you, eternal source, eternal flame. The Master Yeshua talked about this a lot. He said, well, why do you fear somebody that can, destroy your body? Because after they destroy your body, then, I'm paraphrasing, after they destroy your body, then they can't do nothing to you anymore. So the Master was trying to tell you in hidden form that there's life beyond what? Birth and death. There's something beyond this, your energy. You don't just totally, get destroyed after you die, that you lose the shell. You see, it's just a shell. But what you all are realizing now is that there's something deeper to the shell that's within you, your core. It's the I am, the source energy. And especially within the human beings that are connected to the awesome tribes of Israel. There's covenant stuff in there. I'm telling you, there's covenant beings. And you're attached to the DNA of Abraham. My goodness. And that just opens up a treasure trove of all kinds of wealth, abundance, happiness, joy, peace, treasure trove of everything that you desire and want for yourselves. Not many people in the whole of this world are going to truly. They're going to try. They're going to put up yeoman's effort, and they're going to go out here and they're going to seek the truth, and they're going to try to understand, and they're trying to understand it from here, there, everywhere. Joe Blog, this guy, this woman told me to do this. They're going to go out and they're going to waste the whole of a good life on nothingness. Because at the end of the day, and I hope they get to listen to this lecture and listen to this forum that we have here and empowering. Listen to the title of this room. For those of you who are on YouTube, and you may want to come look up this room on the Power Talk. Empowering yourself in the footsteps of Jesus. Empowering yourself, not empowering others, yourself. That self that is within you, that within this shell of a body. And you see, this is why it's so important. Because we look at Adam and Eve and what happened. The first thing that they said was that, Adam said, Lord, you know, Master Yahweh, I was afraid. Listen to what it said. He said, Master Yahweh, we were afraid, and what? We were naked. Well, what caused this into being? What made this happen this way? There was a transformation. And now we're just doing the opposite. We're going from the excommunicated outside of the garden now to being reattached and re-entry into the garden. Because believe me, once you connect back to your source energy, the I am, guess what? You're back in the garden. You don't have to wait for it. You can have the Garden of Eden right now. You don't have to wait to die to get to heaven. You can have heaven right now. Because last time I checked, the Garden of Eden was where? Here on this earth. And last time I checked, the New Jerusalem is going to be where? Here on this earth, or on the planet Jupiter, or on the planet Mars, on the planet Pluto? Where are we going? Where are we going, Miss Baha? Please help me out here for a minute. We're staying right here on this what? On this planet Earth. Mother Earth, Rukashil. That just gives forth infinite abundance and more abundance and more abundance. And Hadassah, I'm hoping to see a nice little garden in the backyard there where you're growing things and you're giving back to Mother Earth and you're giving back to the source energy by giving back. And let Mother Earth bring you abundance as well as you begin to grow your own vegetables, as you begin. I'm telling you, we got corn in the backyard now, cucumbers, and we're giving away cucumbers now, Miss Bahar. We're taking, instead of us going to the grocery store, getting groceries, we're going to the grocery store, the Chinese store, and we're giving cucumbers to the workers there. And they're just so happy we did that yesterday. My wife instituted that, by the way. I mean, cucumbers just popping out, off the seams. I tell you, great. And I'm so happy to be able to do that. And it gives me so much joy. And now our little tomatoes are coming out, and we're getting these great rains, periodic rains that come from Mother Earth, that comes from the Mother Name, whatever name you want to give her. And she pours down these rains. And I tell you, there's something about the rains that come from heaven than the rains that come out of your water faucet. And it just makes all of your garden looks greener, and it just grows like it's on these super steroids, like it's super Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I mean, and they just grow overnight, instantaneously. It's like the Jack and the Beanstalk. How many of you read that fairy tale? I'm telling you, I plant one bean, my goodness. I wake up the next morning, and it's like the seeds have turned into a tree. I'm like, well, Kashyap, you got corn stalks that are taller than me now. I'm not that tall, but I remember they started out as a seed. And now these things are like 6 foot tall. I'm like, climbing the privacy fence. I'm like, my goodness. So now we're building all kind of barricades to keep everything in place. And it's just beautiful. We're building houses to house these wonderful flowers and beautiful, beautiful fruit that's coming up. I don't know if I told y'all, but I planted, in honor of my son, Nakshan, I planted a pomegranate tree in the backyard. So that baby's growing. His name is Nakshan as well. Planted the pomegranate tree. It's just growing. And I found out a lot of great information about the pomegranate tree because I had to do my homework, make sure I'm taking care of it right. I had to get everything on the pomegranate tree. But you know, the pomegranate tree can grow in almost any climate. So for those of you that are like in the Arizona area, Nevada area, you can grow pomegranate tree there. It doesn't, they say pomegranate trees have been found in the mountains of desert lands. Can you believe that? Rukashim, the pomegranate tree. The endurance of a pomegranate tree. Now I understand why in our history, in the Hebrew history, why pomegranates had significance to us. So here too, in my garden, I do have a pomegranate. I'm so happy, super excited, full of joy, and truly grateful to Mother Earth, the source energy, to the God of Israel, for these opportunities to give back and to really experience life to its fullest. Because yes, you can have heaven on this earth. I look at my garden in the backyard and I do see paradise. I wake up every morning and I say, another day in paradise. You see, because that's what I write in my script. I script that. I bring that forth. I manifest that in my life. I attract paradise to me. Because every day is another day in paradise. And yes, I do have the Garden of Eden in my backyard. I tell you, just growing. And I'm super happy. Growing my eggplant coming in, hakoim. We just went and got us some okra. Going to start growing some okra. Oh, goodness. And the taste, Mishpahah, I want you to imagine the taste. It's not like the taste that you see here at the Walmart, or you go to your H-E-B or your Costco's. This produce has such a different taste to it because it's your produce. You grew it. You watched it come up from the fledgling seed. And it just has a total different taste to it. And I know maybe a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, yeah, Rabbi, you're right. When I grew my own tomatoes, it don't taste like the tomatoes in the store. Because you're probably not putting all those chemicals and things like that on it. It's virgin, it's fresh. This is Garden of Eden stuff, baby. So it's all about when you go back within yourself. The kingdom of heaven is within. It's not without. Many people have a hard time with this. It's because, and I understand it, and I truly respect their hard time, it's because they've been conditioned to think that they have to look outside of themselves for the answer. And I'm not talking about Allen Iverson, the basketball player. But for the answer. You know, every one of the answers to any one of your problems is within you. How come he was giving you these great solutions and these great, I like the counterclockwise thing with the left hand thingy. To get that energy flowing wherever you need it in your body. Because these things, everything he told you was dealing with your body. And look at this. Even in the garden, the first thing when they lost their form, when they lost that force field that I call it, that's how I imagine it. It's like this energy field that's around them that keeps them, it's totally conscious all the way. And I see this as when Eve ate from that tree, that they lost that. And they automatically knew that they lost. They're like, wait a minute. I don't feel the same anymore. And that's another key point. I want you all to take the time in your meditations and your devotions and your prayer to begin to feel your inner, you feel your I am within your body. Oh, begin to feel your body parts. Begin to close your eyes if you close your eyes. If you do it, imagine it with your eyes open, but begin to do it. And begin to feel your body, your organs, like Hakoim talked about. I would encourage you all to, memorize the pathophysiology of your body and what each organ and what it does. Study up on that. That's easy study. That's good study by it. And begin to see yourself and energy flowing through these organs every day to the cellular level. Your breathing to the alveoli level. Those little itty bitty little great things at the little stem of your lungs, where the CO2 and oxygen exchange take place. And then go deeper than that, because that's just the shell. We're talking about that is the shell. Begin to even go deeper and begin to feel your source energy. Begin to practice this. Begin to feel your source energy. And begin to see it. You can see it and imagine it like a meter, like an energy meter. and begin to feel that meter that's going throughout the whole of your body. Because that's you. That's your I am. Excuse me, say it over. So that's you. That's go ahead. Have a seat, Rose. Learn something. That's you. That's your I am. Many times you've been told, oh, you don't feel, you don't have to have emotion, you don't have to love. All these are wonderful things. You should be able to do these things. But the mind will tell you, the mind has a construed thinking of love, of feelings. You see, because then your feelings get hurt, your emotions get hurt, and then before you know it, it affects what? It begins to affect your body. Oh, then you say, oh, Rabbi, he broke my heart, she broke my heart, blah, 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 blah. And guess what you just spoke into existence? A broken heart. So now you're going to have heart trouble. Because that's what you said. Oh, he broke my heart. And then before you know it, you're on all kind of medications and blah, 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 and you go down that rabbit hole. And we don't want that for ourselves. So as you continue on as students of the I am, of your I am, now you must become familiar with your I am. And you must begin to learn how to live in a state, regardless. And I'm telling you, when you begin to connect the source energy to your I am that's within you, your God source, I'm telling you, how hell could be breaking loose around you and you're dancing like David. That doesn't faze you. Because now you're going to begin to live not with the mind. The mind, oh man, I can't believe I got this bill and they trapped my house and blah, blah, blah. Nope. You're gonna take that time. And I'm telling you, when you begin to start doing this, begin to feel your body, your inner body. Just like you can feel your fleshly body. You can feel your body. You can feel your pecs and your abs, and you can feel your body. What I'm trying to teach you this day is to begin to feel that inner body. So you can know these changes. I told you, give a testimony in the 20s. Man, every time it's this time, I feel this pain. I would have this pain over here, I would feel it. So just like you can feel this shell of a body, you must begin to feel your I am as well. That energy source, that frequency, your vibration. See where your amplification is. Imagine your meter being turned up within you. This is a great way to live. This is an awesome way to live when you can do that, because then once you tune into that, everything is limitless, unlimited, limitless, abundance, infinite abundance. But how can you say infinite abundance, Rabbi, when they get ready to take my house? How can you say infinite abundance? I have cancer. How can you see all of that? Don't make see that's your mind. Your mind wants you focus on the problem, so-called problem or situation. When you're in your I am mode, and you can feel your source energy, you can feel your I am, all you see is success. All you see is infinite abundance. All you see is super, because you are a superpower. You come from the DNA of the power, so then you are a superpower. You come from the DNA of the source. I don't know, I was watching this one movie. It's a pretty interesting movie. But at the end, the whole thing about the movie was they was trying not to let the people know how strong they really are. I don't know what this movie was. But it was very interesting because they went through the whole movie trying to dissuade and deter the people into understanding what kind of powers that an individual human being really had. They wanted to keep that under wraps because if the human race understood the power that they have within them. So this is why they keep telling you got to look for the power in medicine, you got to look for the power in a doctor, you got to look for the power outside of yourself and other human beings and not within you. You see how they hoodwink you and bamboozle you? You got to look for the power in a pastor. You got to look for the power in a rabbi. You got to look for the power in anything outside of yourself. Because then that's keeping you down the rabbit hole. Are you understanding this, Bahal? But the power is within you. You are source energy. Now you're recognizing, just like Adam and Hava and Eve did, they realized, man, once they partook of the fruit, wow, things changed drastically, quickly. It's like, wait a minute. Something's not right. I know nakedness now. I know fear. Before they had no concept of fear. Why all of a sudden you say, well, I'm fearful. We were scared, we were paraphrasing. And so we went here over here by these trees. We heard you talking, but we were afraid. What are you afraid of? They realized that they lost the state of being. They totally realized that. You think they were afraid of chastisement? You think they were afraid of the Master Yahweh being angry when they had never seen angry before? You know, they never experienced angry from the Master. So why are you? So can you understand? So it's a mindset. But remember, all of this happened because something was ingested into their bodies. Now you understand, as covenant children, as covenant servants, as the Master Yahweh said, Israel, I consider them as my servants. How many of you are servants to the Master Yahweh? How many of you are servants to God? Because if you're covenant, that's what he says you are. He sees you as servants. That's beautiful. I'll be a servant for 500 Alex. And I was so glad to hear in the news reports that Alex Trebek, he was diagnosed with, I think, a form of pancreatic cancer. But do you know what they're saying? It's in remission. And I can guarantee you, he got connected with some of the right sources. Probably stayed away from chemotherapy is what I'm thinking. But he got connected with the right people that can cure cancer. And he got connected, let me put it this way, he got connected with Eastern medicine. I guarantee you he did. So there were just some reports that went out the other day that Alex Trebek, how many of you know Alex Trebek? How many of you even watch Jeopardy? Well, I'm a big fan of Jeopardy. I grew up watching Jeopardy. I like to watch the show. We have the little board game, Jeopardy. But now he's in remission with his cancer. I say, Baruch Hashem, I say, thank you to the universes. I mean, he had one of them cancers where they talked about, he was in end stage, like stage 4, pancreatic stage 3. Pancreatic cancers, and the doctors writing him off. You know how they do. Doctors, because it's not in their book, because it's not in their PDF or PDR, it's not in their PDR, it's not in their physician's book, then we got to write you off. Physician's book say this, so you're going to die, sir, blah, 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 blah. But Alex Trebek said, no, I'm going to fight it. He said, I'm going to fight this, don't worry about it. You got to have that right mindset. In the same way with all of you writing your scripts. All of you are writing your scripts the way you want them written. You got to understand that you're fighting many battles. Some battles you'll lose. But understand, you win the war. You have already won the war. You just got to fight these skirmishes and these battles. And some of them you're going to lose. Some of them you're going to come up bruised and wounded. But you get back in the game, right? I go in, and you get back in the game quick, and you come back strong, and you win the war. You've already won the war. So when you sit there complaining, I'm so tired because I have to write this script in my hand. I'm getting arthritis, Rabbi. Well, see the mentality. Look, you're at battle, and you're going to get some wounds. But you what? You stay the course. You don't complain. You don't get fearful. You don't get tired. You don't let your emotions get the best of you. You don't get lazy. You don't say, oh, well, I tried. I did this one time, and you give up. Because to God for that, Hakoin sent me some pictures where he went to Edison's museum or something, right? And I'm pretty sure Edison, he had a lot of inventions in it that he failed on. I'm reading his book, his biography. And he's talking about all these inventions that he failed at. He wasn't successful at. He dealt with human problems just like you and I deal with human problems. He had death in his family, but he carried on. He remarried. His wife died, he remarried another one. He begat children, Baruch Hashem. But he didn't say, so much failure. I have so much, and my wife died. Woe was me. I'm not going to ever be successful. I'm not going to use my imaginations anymore because I lost the love of my life and blah, blah, blah. No, you find more love. You find better love. Some of you in this room. I'm divorced, Rabbi. I don't ever want to experience that again. All men are evil. All women are evil. I'm not ever getting married again. Look, that's the wrong attitude to have. You already given up. Oh, Rabbi, I'm too old, I can't do this. You're already giving up. You're making excuses. You need to tell yourself and write the script. I'm a young whippersnapper. Usain Bolt don't have nothing on me. Haley Berry don't have nothing on me. J-Lo don't have nothing on me. And J-Lo, she's still, I think she's in her 40s, pushing 50, and she's still doing shows. Still keeping up with her body. Done had multiple children. She's not letting that, age is just a number, Mishpahah. But again, that's another reason why to use an excuse. Another reason why for you to sit there and let your emotions get the best of you. Emotions are good if they're directed in the right kind of way. But if not, if you let your emotions run rampant, it will affect you. Affect your vibration, affect your frequency, affect you even connecting to source power. You won't even be able to connect. So you'll be out there searching, I'm seeking, and you'll never find. Because to find, you have to look within the body. Sub-level. Within your body. That's when you're going to find. Other than that, you're never going to find. You'll keep seeking and seeking and seeking. Oh, I'm looking here, there, and everywhere. I've turned over this rock and this stone. I haven't found it. Because it's already within you. Many people are not teaching this. I can tell you, majority of so-called spiritual teachers, spiritual leaders, they don't teach this. They want you dependent instead of becoming independent. The fix is within you. And I will shout this from the mountaintops. It's already within you. The fix is already in you. You just have to manifest it and bring it forth. Recognize it for what it is. Give thanks. And show gratitude for what it really is. It's in you. And just like we told in our books, you have to ask yourself, what has value today? How do you value things? And for us, as the children of the covenants, children of the contracts, children of the covenants, descendants of Abraham, for us, you must look to the Kohen for value. Now, I'm going to just mention one verse in Leviticus as we come to the end, in our Parsha process, the end of the book of Leviticus here. This is the end of the book of the Levites, the book for the Levites and of the Levites. Leviticus chapter 27, verses 12. And the Kohen shall value it. Who shall value it? The Kohen. Yeah, this is talking about how much you would bring for a particular offering at the time of the temple, but even more so, who's going to tell you what's of value today? Because that's one of the major things you must understand is, who do you listen to? How do I know what's value? Many people have spent loads and loads of money seeking value and have yet to find it. It's because it's the source of who you're listening to. The priesthood has this mandate that's forever, is that there'll always be what? Adjudicators. There'll always be the connection between heavens and earth for the children of Israel. For humanity, for that matter. But, just like with you, what has happened? The priesthood has been put to the side. And they having you looking everywhere else. They have you looking all over, and you're scanning the whole earth. You're scanning the whole earth to find out where you get instruction, where you get direction. Who do you listen to? That's the biggie. And this is what's keeping a lot of people from their true self, their identity, their true self, who they really are. Their true self, their true identity within themselves. Because they're seeking and searching and looking and trying to find over here, I'm over there, I'm everywhere. When the answer is within you. Your I am. You have the DNA of El Shaddai. You have the DNA of source energy, source power, whatever name you want to give them. The creator of the heavens and the universes. You have that within you. You were formed from the dust of the ground. and animated by the breath. So that you can move and function and have meaning and have being. It's beautiful, Mishpahah, once you begin to understand it. And you truly will have a higher respect for life, for that matter. You will respect life on a broader scale. is because you understand. Let's go back to that first Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 27, verse 12. And the Kohen shall value it, whether it be good or bad. Today, this is why all of you are so very important. Who do you listen to? How many of you fell down that wormhole of listening to the wrong person at one time or another in your life? Anybody? Put up a 1 if that's you. Any time in your life you understand, you're like, Rabbi, I understand what you mean by who do you listen to. Because if you listen to the wrong person, that can cause you a lot of anguish, heartache, financial problems, heart problems, emotional problems, physical problems, because you listen to the wrong person. I went through that for a very long time, my whole life. Listening to wrong people. At the same time, a lot of people gave me great instruction, great advice that I heeded, and it benefited me. Because these people came to me from experience. They would say, hey, Lamont, don't go do that. I did that, and this is what happened to me. I was like, okay, I'll know that for sure. So I didn't do that, and then I went another way. Hashem. I took the detour. I didn't go down and go down the same pothole and mess up my car tires and all this other stuff. No, I went the opposite way. I went another way. I heeded their advice. More important than anything is that you must listen to the right people. And for Israel, descendants of Abraham, children of the covenants, it's important that we listen to the Kohen. The Kohen is going to tell us not only what is valuable during temple times, but what is valuable today and what is valuable forever. And what is valuable is your body. It's your body that's valuable. It's taking care of your body. That's valuable. Super value. That has value. When he's teaching us about meditation, when he's teaching us about the perfect law, it's all about the body. And that goes back to the garden times. The first thing, when they partook, the fruit, what did that go? Into their body. They ingested it into their body. That particular fruit, at that particular time, was not supposed to be eaten. And then it was. So it affected their bodies. They took it in, ingested it, and before you know it, not only did it affect their body, the shell, yeah, because the shell changed, right? But it affected the inner body as well, the I am within them. And they realized that they had a disconnect. So when we're told not to eat pork as covenant children, as a covenant requirement, as covenant restriction, law and order, baby. Law and order. And what does Christianity tell you? Oh, no. We don't no longer live under the law. You don't have to live under, you can just do what you want because grace rules the day. Grace rules the day. So you can go and you can do it. If you want to make the biggest pork chop sandwich in the world and eat it, don't worry. God is gracious. But at the end of the day, you have to go follow the rules. Chadasha was telling you, following the rules of the perfect law work. I will tell you, following the rules of the perfect law to the T, they work. You can't go in there mixing and matching and adding your own 2 cents. But why do you follow the rules? Why can't you? You follow them because you follow them. Because you're a servant to the Most High. You're a servant to source energy. You're a servant to Master Yahweh. You're a servant. Leviticus chapter 25, verse 55. Leviticus chapter 25, verse 55. For to me, the children of Israel are servants. Wow. The rabbi is not just making it up. It's coming right out of our books. For to me, the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of Egypt. I am Yahweh, your power. You see, many people want to have a connection with source energy, Yahweh, Master Yahweh, God, Lord, but many folks are not willing to become servants. Because last time I checked, let's just look at the history here in North America dealing with servants. How many of you have some kind of family background of servitude here in North America? Anybody? Put up a capital S if that's you. Somewhere in your family tree, you have a history of servitude here in North America. Anybody? I'll put up an S for that, right? I'll put my S up in there. I know I'm in the mix. We got the proof. I know I'm in the mix of servitude, okay? So, at one time or another, somebody in your family was a servant, right? Okay, now, let's just look at history. Now, say a servant was told to do something by the master, and they did call him master if I'm not correct. They would call him Master Joe, Master Johnny, Master. That's what they would say. They were the master. Now, if the master told the servant to go do something, like, okay, I need this 1 acre of cotton field cleared by noonday. Yes, master, we're going to go do it. Or would the servant say, master, could you tell me why we have to clear that 1 acre of cotton? I mean, why do we have to do it by noon? Can anybody tell me what would happen in that instance? Master, could you please elaborate why we even have to pick this cotton to even begin with? And master, you're telling me to pick this cotton, and I've been picking this cotton for the past 5 years, and I have yet to see any kind of reparations. I'm doing reparations, master, because, you know, I'm doing this work, but I'm not getting paid for it. So, master, we need to sit down, you need to make some cold lemonade, and we need to talk about this, master. So you see, you even see it with the servitude over here in North America. Is if the master tells you to do something, you don't come with no cockamamie question of why we have to do it. You get the job done. Thus sparing your life, thus causing you more heartache and heartbreak, thus causing you maybe a lashing or even a hanging behind that, or maybe even not getting the scraps from the master's table here in North America. Do you all understand that, Ms. Bahar? So, as servants, how many of you consider yourself a servant of the Most High? Anybody? You consider yourself a servant of the Most High? To God for your responses, by the way. If you consider yourself a servant of the God of Israel, a servant of source energy, then why are you questioning the master? When the master specifically, he writes it down and he leaves us this beautiful book of instruction, direction, guidance. Why do we sit here and question the master? It is only going to affect you because the master is not going to change. Just like I'm pretty sure, here on these plantations, the master didn't change. He said, well, wait a minute, servant. You make a good point there. I'm going to change my first decree that I came down with doing, because of after you expounded upon your thesis, I think we can make a change. No, God, I'm pretty sure that never happened. So this is the point that we're getting at. You are a servant of the Most High. You always will be. And as servant, instructions are going to come down, but we must be able to obey it. We must be able to follow through with the instruction. This is when you see the blessings. Chadasha will tell you, this is when you see the blessings. You see, because the Kohanim, the sons of Aaron, they are gonna be able to tell whether it's good or bad for you, whether it has value for you in 2019 going forward. I know many of you have already been looking all over the place, trying to find value. You've been looking for value. I look for it in Hagee. I look for it in Kenneth Copeland. I look for value in the Pope, because I was a Catholic at first. I look for value everywhere. Couldn't find it. There was no value. So I just gave up on value. And then I just said, you know what? Got to quit looking for another man. I got to look for source. I gotta go directly to God and ask God, where's the value? Where am I going to find value? How do I know what's good or bad? This preacher telling me this good. This is good. I go over here. This preacher telling me this is bad. The same thing. This religion is telling me this is good, but then this religion is telling me that's bad. Wait a minute. There's contradiction. There's no contradiction in it. There is no contradiction in the contracts, in the covenant. There is no contradiction in the covenant. You see? But the key is who are you listening to for covenant advice? How many of you have gotten value from the son of Aaron? My goodness, let me put up a VV. How many of you have gotten value from the priesthood? This is very important. Come on, because if you're not getting value, then maybe you need to move on. Maybe you need to be looking elsewhere if you hadn't gotten value. So I'm not just making this up. All of you have got some value. Many years I was in Hagen's church. Many years I was at all these non-denominational church. I went to that one church in Houston, Lakewood. That's a big old church. Big old gigantic church, but no value. A lot of people go there. I mean, have team services on Saturday and Sunday. But there's no value there. It's just a building. A picture building. But it's just a building. Lakewood, at the end of the day, it's just one big old building in Houston, Texas. It had no value for me. So why am I going to keep going back there? But we answering the question of value this day. If you can't get value where you are, then you need to pick up and leave. Some people are not willing to pick up and leave to go get value. Our Kohen continues to give me value because he's a Kohen. And he's supposed to bring value. Not only to Israel, to call Israel, but to humanity. I'm pretty sure our Kohen has helped some people that may not proclaim to be descendants of Abraham and awesome tribes of Israel, but he's helped them. He's given them value. And maybe they're considered like scratching their head, like, wow, maybe I do need to go, attach myself to this man that has brought me value. You see, they brought me some kind of value. It's important to understand value. Baruch Hashem. Are you getting value where you're at? For the awesome tribes of Israel. In 2019, you want to know if something good or bad? Bring it to the Kohen. That's who you need to go to. You don't have to sit here and fumble and mumble and, oh, well, I don't know if what I'm doing is right. I'm not sure I'm on the right path. Then go to the Kohen. He'll tell you if it's good or bad. But I can pretty much guarantee you what he's going to ask you is what you're doing, does it make you happy? Does it bring you joy? Because he's going to make you look within yourself. That's what a Kohen will do. He's going to make you look within yourself. It's going to be protected. You don't have to go hunt nothing down. No, you're going to have to look within yourself. And you don't have to bring no witness. You don't have to bring no watcher with you. It's all about yourself. He's going to look within yourself. He's going to analyze yourself in you, yourself, your I am. Whether you even connected to the I am. Because you might not be conscious. You still may be unconscious. You're walking around here like a zombie. You have life, you're animated, but you're walking around here like a zombie. And you're walking around here just like Adam and Eve, as they call her. You're walking around here as Adam and Hava. Once they partook of the fruit, oh, they're in fear. Oh, they're naked. They begin to realize all of these things. And it all focuses back on the body. That's what I want you to look at today. The body, your body, my body. It's so very important. So when you look at our covenant requirements, right, you want to know why we're not supposed to, when we talk about the dietary side, because it concerns our body. You want to know why Adam and Eve was told not to partake of that tree at that certain time? It's because it would affect their body, their mind, their makeup, their I am. And the same way it is for you this day. But now we're just doing it in reverse, you see. We're coming back into the Garden of Eden. We're connecting back to source energy. There was a disconnect for a minute. Because I'll tell you, our Kohen liked his, I think our Kohen said he loved to eat his shrimp. Well, I love to eat the bacon. I was a big bacon eater. Loved to make my pork chop sandwiches back in the day. But that was leaving me a disconnect from who? From source energy. My frequency was very low, if any frequency at all. When you look at my amplification meter, it's probably like in the red, you know. I had no amplification, I had no connection. I had no desire to look within myself. I was too busy hunting for this particular truth in a book, in a preacher, in a priest, in another person. This is what makes it so unique to all of us. You know, the way your heaven and your paradise looks may not be the way my paradise looks, but it's your paradise. And I'm so happy and grateful that you realize that you can experience paradise now. Don't be like these Muslim, these Muslim folks that they say, oh, well, we got to go kill a bunch of people and murder them. Look, you're destroying your body. And you think that's going to help you connect to source energy? Body destruction? On that kind of level? Akoi said, I loved it, and I gave it up in one day. When I learned, we were told to abstain from it. Gave it up in one day, boom. Same way with me with pork. Me and pork had to fall out anyway. I realized, man, this stuff stinks. Cooking it in your house and it smells really bad. Then the doctors we were saying it. Hey, I don't hear them tell them, people with heart problems, they say you might want to cut pork out of your diet. This will really help your heart condition. I was like, wow, these doctors are telling people don't eat pork. Wow. So I was like, wow, there must be something to this. I was like, wait a minute, maybe these doctors are reading the Bible? No, they were coming to you from a medical point of view. Some of these doctors that I knew of personally, they didn't even believe in any God. They didn't even believe, let's just say, in the Bible. So, and for them to come and say, hey, you might want to stop eating pork. Then I realized, hey, not eating pork can improve your life, can help your body, you see. And it all goes back to the body. Look at Adam and Eve. I want you to go back and examine the story of the Shabbat. Look at Adam and Eve. The first thing they realized is that what? They were naked. Nakedness is dealing with what? The body. But it also could be dealing with the inner body. They became naked of consciousness. Think about that for a minute. You see, when you become naked of consciousness, when you become unconscious, then you realize, oh, I'm naked. I need to put some clothes on. This physical thing in this body. You need to put some clothes on it. You see, now you're no longer naked anymore. You're clothing yourself with your I am. Thus you don't see nakedness. Thus you don't see fear, Mishpah. I don't fear anything this day. You know, I see a lot of these on the back of these trucks here in Texas. They say, no fear. How many of you ever seen that sticker? It says, no fear. I don't fear anything, Mishpah. I have no fear. How many of you that same way? I don't. What do I have to fear? I don't fear. At one time I did. I feared relationships. I feared the loss of money. I don't fear nothing anymore. At one time I did. I feared death. You see? I had a fear of all these things. Because the majority of the time, people fear what they don't understand. But when you connect and you go back and you connect to your subconscious, thus becoming conscious, thus connecting to your I am, there is no such thing as fear. You're eternal. You're infinite. You're infinitely abundant. You're not finite. You don't live and die. You live on. And you live on. And you live on. And you live on. Isn't that beautiful? So what? You get rid of this old nasty body. Who wants this old shell of a body anyway? You're connected to source energy. You live on. It's that connection to the inner body. On the other side of the stick, you see many people, oh man, they're obsessed with taking care of their body. Everything is pointed to their physical body. How many of you know people like that? They love their body. They love this physical shell of a body, and they're obsessed, and they'll spend all kind of money trying to take care of it. Thus still never connected to the inner man, the inner body. The I am. That's just as worse. That's destroying your body. But when you understand the source of all things is within you, wow. You understand, Mishpah, that you are God. Woo! What did you say, Rabbi? Yes, I said it. You are. You're running around here looking for God, but God is within you. And until you do that, you're no less than an animal. You do the same thing an animal does. Think about it. Until you go back and connect and realize you are God. You are connected to source energy. I am from my Father, and my Father is me. Think about that for a minute. Ooh, that's heavy. That's some heavy stuff there. Because you've been told that God, you have to go out and reach out to God. No, you got to reach inward to God. You have to reach out to God. I mean, you heard a pastor tell you that before. Oh, reach out to God. And they put the Hollywood spiel on it, and they give you all the actions and the emotions and the goosebumps. Oh, reach out to God this moment. Reach out to God. Joe Osteen loves to do this. Oh, just reach out to God, brother. Reach out. Cry out to God. No! You need to reach within. You need to reach within. This is why it's leaving so many people, hoodwinked and bamboozled and never connecting to truly source energy. Never connecting to God. Never connecting to Lord. Chasing, but never connecting. And at the end of the day, all these religions, whatever you're into, religion, whatever you call it, spiritualism, whatever you call it, at the end of the day, if you can see it this way, it'll maybe become a little bit clearer to you. At the end of the day, all of these religions, spiritual, whatever, mumbo jumbo gurus and all this, they all have one purpose: is to point you to source power, to the Creator. But here's the kicker. At the end of the day, this is why I respect our religions. I don't knock people that do eat pork. I don't knock religion and say, okay, every day we're going to make pork chop sandwiches and give them out to the poor. I don't knock none of that, none of them. I respect all their beliefs and their customs and traditions, because at the source of all of that, they're trying to connect to source energy, but they're just going about it in like a roundabout way. And I look at it this way. I look at all of these so-called religions or spiritual or whatever as like signposts on the side of the interstate that give you direction and it points you in a way. All of these posts are pointing back to source energy in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. But if you're on a highway, just imagine all these different signs. Okay, this sign says go this way, take this, go this is a detour. All these different signs. I know all of you have traveled at some time or another in your life down somebody's interstate, I-10, 95, 18, 16, 4 to one of these interstates. You travel down. And so you use these signs to help you get to your final destination. Or maybe even today you're probably using Garmin or whatever, some kind of navigational tool to help you, Google Maps, to help you get you from point A to point B. Point B meaning source, God, Lord, Yahweh, Yeshua, Adonai, Eve, Most High, divine presence. Everybody's trying to get there. But here's the kicker. Is when you look at all these different signs, and see every religion has these different signs. They'll on your highway, they'll point you and they'll direct you sometimes to a detour, sometimes they direct you to a total different interstate and highway to where you never get to point B from point A, meaning wherever you are. You understand what I'm saying? So when you look at religions, don't knock them, don't put them down. At the end of the day, they're trying to get you to somewhere. But the kicker is, who do you listen to? What signposts are you going to follow on your highway? Because you're all on the highway, you're all on the journey. You see, and for the children of Israel, for the children of the contracts, the children of the covenants, children of descendants of Abraham, it's important for you to go back and listen to the sons of Aaron for your guidance, for your direction, for your instruction, for your how-to in 2019 going forward. Just like it's always been set up from the very beginnings of our books, from the very establishment of Israel. So this is very important to understand. Who do you listen to? Many people listen to wrong people, taking wrong advice, losing a lot of money, losing a lot of, let's just say, emotional real estate, losing a lot of success behind listening to the wrong people. So it's important. You want value? How many of you this day want value out of life? I do. How many of you this day want to know what's good or what's bad for me? I do. As a servant of the Most High, as a servant of Source Energy, as a servant of Master Yahweh, as a servant of Yahweh, I need direction and guidance. I need to be told. A servant is told, and then they just do. That's what makes a great servant, is that they act upon the instructions of the master. In America, they have this saying, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. I used to hear that a lot. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Everybody wants to be in charge. I like to watch a lot of these, Chinese history and the empires that came up throughout their illustrious, lengthy history. China has some history for you. And what you see is like everybody wants to be king. Lottie-dottie, and so they'll plot and manipulate and kill so that they can be king. And then when they become king, then the cycle repeats itself. Somebody else wants to be king. So they plot and they kill and they do whatever to be king. And they just keep that went on and on and on and on and on and on again for many, many years. And they realize once they become king that they're not happy. They don't find happiness in being king. You see, most people cannot handle power. They don't know how to handle it. And they realize at the end of the day that power didn't make them happy. The pursuit to be king did not make them happy. Same way with some of you. Some of you realize you spent all your time trying to attract that particular woman. How many of you like this? I tell you, you courted this woman and you dreamed of having a relationship with this woman. You get this relationship with this woman and you realize that was the biggest mistake of my life. Same way with a man. You did everything. You fixed your hair. You looked all pretty. You got looking pretty. You did some cosmetic surgery just to get that man that you wanted. Man, you get this man and you realize that you just entered hell on earth. It's your pursuit. And you realize that what you were pursuing did not bring you happiness at the end of the day. You didn't find joy. You didn't get peace behind that. You see, because you were looking for things, you were just trying to fulfill our emotion. I guess you could say you want this. You truly didn't desire it for yourself. This was like, you were just running off emotions like lust. Maybe a form of love, that mental love, that mind love. Oh, I love her, but you don't even know her. Oh, but I love her, Rabbi. How do you know you love this woman? You don't even know this woman. Oh, but she just looks so beautiful, you see. You love with your eyes. But when you begin to love from your inner man, your inner being, your inner woman, that I am, it'll see through all of that mumbo jumbo. And you'll realize what you desire in a woman, what you desire in a man that's going to make you happy. All right, here's a little interaction here. All right, even if you're married or you're not married, I want you to list me the top 3 things that you would like in a man or a woman right now. What are the top 3 things that will make you happy in a relationship, in a man or a woman that you're looking for right now? List them for me, please. If you would, I'd appreciate it. The top 3 things that you're looking for as your top 3 things. Torah says honesty. Okay. The top 3 things that you're looking for in a relationship with a man or a woman. You're looking for this in a man. You're looking for this in a woman. And if you find this, this is what's going to make you happy. This is what's going to give you joy. This is what's going to give you peace. Anybody name them? Eddie says a good chef. Eddie's one of the favorite cooks. Okay. Cooking is good. Laundry class says scripture-based faith, resourceful and beautiful. Okay. Scripture-based faith. Okay. All right. Kindness, humor, godly leadership. Okay. That's good. Serenity, support, truthful, and loyal. Okay, that's good. Do you see what folks? So these folks are saying, if I see these things in a man, if I see these things in a woman, this one will make me happy. This would give me happiness. This would give me peace. This would give me joy. You see, this is what's important. So you have to know what you desire, what you want. Many times in a relationship, I'm an expert on a relationship because I've been in many. In a relationship, what you try to do is you try to please the other person and give them what they want, and you're neglecting what you truly want in the relationship. Thus, the relationship is crushed from the very beginning. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Respectful, resourceful, truthful, connected to infinite source, trustworthy, and joyful. You understand what I'm saying? So many times you waste your time trying to please the other, please get their wants, and then decide, oh, she wants that car, I'm going to go buy it for her. That's a real life example. And you buy that car and you realize, well, I bought her that car, but I'm not happy, and she's still not happy with me. So buying the car wasn't the answer. You see what I'm saying? So what you have to find out is the answers within you. What do you want? What is your desire? What is your desire? What makes you happy? You can't worry about what makes, that other person happy. You have to figure out what makes you happy. And that means you have to look within yourself. And you truly have to look and get connected to source energy, source power. To realize, see, this is all about the body. This is all about the body. You see? All about the body. And not only the physical body, this is the shell. I want you all to understand that. Because the Master Yeshua, Master Jesus, Master, he told you, he said, so what? If somebody could kill you, you shouldn't be fearful of that person that can kill your body. Because after they kill your body, then they can no longer do anything to you. Paraphrasing it. But you should fear the one that can kill the body and the soul. What's your soul? Your very makeup, your very being. The God in you. Not the God outside of you. God is in you. You have to go hunting down. You have to look within to do some soul searching. Do some searching within. But you have to go hunting down. No need to go hunting down, Mishpah. It's within you, Mishpah. Truly. I'm for the body today. Today we're focusing on your body. The body. It's so awesome once you understand it. Once you begin to understand it, it's so beautiful. And so easy at the same time. Because it uncomplicates all of these things that you've been told. That you've been told, oh yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that. All of these restrictions that are put on you, that you basically put on yourself, or you allow to be put on you. But when you connect to the source energy, you realize that there are no restrictions. You're free. You're free. So whatever's thrown at you, and believe me, stuff is going to come your way. Whatever's thrown at you, it won't faze you. No matter if people talk about you, no matter if your husband don't like you, or your wife don't like you, or the children, they think you crazy, or your parents think you come from planet Mars now, or you're in some kind of cult, and blah 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 blah. At the end of the day, you see, because how many of you have been down this wormhole where you realize that you can't please all the people some of the time, and you can't please most of the people most of the time. I tried that. I tried to make everybody happy, thus making myself unhappy. I tried that before. That doesn't work. But what you have to do is make yourself happy first. Find your joy, your peace, and then that emanates outside of you, and it just spreads. Oh, it's beautiful. And then you realize that people like being around you because you're so happy. And it's not because you're trying to make them happy, it's because you're happy within yourself. And you found joy within yourself. And you found peace within yourself. And they'll come up to you like, how can you be so peaceful at this time right now? They said we're being laid off and we're not going to have any work and blah, 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 but yet you're so peaceful. You understand? And they watch and they look at you and they're like, why are you always so happy? Why are you always joking? Why? Well, how else is it to be? I'm not going to run around here, looking like Eeyore mentality. Oh, another day. Here we go. No, baby, it's another day in paradise for me. It's another day in paradise. You tell somebody that, they look at you like, wow. Wow, I never heard anybody say that before. Or it just brightens up their day. You can already tell, all hell is breaking loose in their life. And then you come in with that one glimmer, that one light of joy, and one light of peace, and they realize life is worth living. Life is truly worth living. Life is important. Life is beautiful. That's the beauty of it. But it requires you to look at your body. Look within yourself and make the necessary adjustments. Body inspection is needed. Believe me, it is. You must inspect your body. You must take care of your body. If you know, that's what our Kohen is teaching us, is to take care of our bodies, because what in this shell holds unlimitedness, holds a power that cannot be put out. It's within you. It's within me. And I'm super excited to be connected to it. And know that my life is just not, born and die. I'm beyond that. I'm beyond that, Mishpahah. You too, you're beyond that. Born and die. I don't fear anything. I don't fear nothing. And the Master Yeshua, during this time, he would always talk about this. Why are you feared? Why are you afraid? Why? The mindset that he had was what? Totally conscious. Totally in connection with source energy. And so can you be as well. You too can have that same. This is not about religion mumbo jumbo. Religion mumbo jumbo is going to keep you at a disconnect with yourself. Because most of these religions out there will tell you to afflict and hurt yourself, to hurt your body, to do damage to your body, to neglect your body. I'm telling you just the opposite this day. I'm telling you to love your body, take care of your body. I think that's one of the major reasons why we have our dietary laws as descendants of the Hebrews, as the family of Jacob. It's so that we can take care of our bodies. This is a requirement, and we're not permitted to eat this food so that we can take care of our bodies. Because what holds inside this body is an awesome receptor, transmitter, receiver of source energy, of source power, of energy, of frequency, of vibration that connects us back to source. The eternal flame. The light. The power. The Most High. Adonai. Lord. Hashem. Elohim. Hashem. This is where we are. And I say thank you to the universe that we have the opportunity to understand that we live on and on and on. And you're not limited. Your life is unlimited. You're only limited if you limit yourself this day. And someone needs to hear that. But you're only limited if you limit yourself. Limitation is a creation by man. You're unlimited. There is nothing that you cannot do. But who stops you? You do. You stop yourself. Not other people. You hold yourself back. You stop yourself from being successful. If you want to be successful, then be successful. If you want to be giving, then be giving. You want to be wealthy, then be wealthy. You want to be loving, then be loving. What do you want? What do you dream of this day? For yourself. You stop looking to fix other people. Fix yourself and you will fix other people. Wow. Stop looking to fix other people. Some of you out here trying to fix, you're trying to save the world, just destroying yourself. Stop it. Stop this day. Take a healthy dose of reality and realize what's really real is within your body. It's real. Chadasha tell you it's real. The Kohen, the son of Aaron, Rabbi Simon Alton will tell you that this is real. This is reality. When you come out of mind control, you realize that, what's not real is what your mind is keep feeding you every day. You realize, wow, I've just been living a facade. I've been living this, it's like a phony world. And you realize now how much power you have within you. But it's very important that you look at this as well. Just like we see in our books, like the book of Leviticus, chapter 27, verse 12. You want to know what value is for you this day. The Kohen, the priesthood, the sons of Israel are going to give you. The sons of Aaron are going to give you what's valuable for you. If you don't know what's value, then you might want to get with the priest. And he can give you guidance and direction. And I don't mean the Pope, but I'm talking about the priesthood, the sons of Aaron. He'll tell you, okay, well, that's good for you. Or nope, that's bad for you. That's not good. It's because by the priesthood's barometer will you know value. The God of Israel is not going to tell you what's valuable for you because he's already established a pattern of how do you know who to go to for value, who to go to see what's wrong or what's right, and the direction and guidance for your life. So you can be successful, you can be happy, you can be full of joy, full of peace, you can have awesome relationships this day. You don't have to wait to some other in the next life. No, you can have it now. So right now, you can choose to have it right now. You can say and claim it as yours now. Take control of it. Take it. Embrace it. Embrace this type of lifestyle that you find beneficial to you. Not beneficial to others. You have to put the others to the side for a minute. And you really have to focus on yourself. Some of you have been just only focusing on others, that you have neglected yourself for many, many years. And you must stop doing that, and you must deal with yourself. So you must focus on yourself. Your body. Your body. How it functions. Your body. What do you want it to do? Your body, that inner man, that inner what makes you happy? What gives you health? What brings you abundance at every level of your life? An abundance in health, an abundance in wealth, an abundance in relationships, an abundance in employment. What makes you happy? This is what you must decide this day. You have all the tools that you need. My goodness. Never in a time in history do I think that people have had so many tools at their disposal to really sift through the mumbo jumbo. So many tools at your disposal to really find source, to really find God. Seek and find has been simplified, but at the same time, there sure has been a lot of garbage thrown in there to make it very difficult for you to find, source. A lot of garbage. That's okay. Because within every human being, I don't care if you listen on YouTube and you're not affiliated or not connected with Abraham, so you think. Well, you too, you still can be connected. Because with every human being is a connection that is a spot, is a place that can only be filled by the source energy, whatever you may call it. Whatever you may call it. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up for this spot. But my thing was the body. I want you to focus on the body. And the body, like we talked about, it goes back to the Garden of Eden. The body. That's what affected Adam and Eve, was the body. It was the body. They ingested something and it totally affected their body. Totally did. Their shell and their inner body changed, you see. So you must look at that going forward, truly look at it. Truly consider it, Mishpah. Consider it. And, you know, if you need assistance, you need guidance, you go to the sons of Aaron. If I can help you, I'll help you, but I'm gonna point you to the sons of Aaron because they know what's good and bad for you. Not only during temple times, but today's times and all times. The Kohen, and I can speak personally, the Kohen is only out for my good. I know that for a fact. And the proof is in the pudding. I have a wonderful relationship with an awesome wife, and I have a son on the way because the Kohen was concerned about my good. Before that, I had no opportunity to get the son at where I was at, and definitely no clue of a good relationship as I thought it should be. You understand? I know our Kohen is out for my good. If he's out for my good, he's out for your good as well. He only wants what's good for you. He's not going to tell you something that's going to be bad for you. Well, you may think, because he might, well, that's bad if I do that. There's no way. That's bad, you see. And he's only going to put in front of you what has value. And what he's trying to explain to you this day, as his student, I can tell you, is that you need to value yourself, value your body. Take value upon your body. How many of you at one time you've been in that state to where you haven't concerned yourself with your body because you're too busy trying to take care of somebody else's body? You know, you're just too busy to deal and take care of your body. And because you're out there and you're too busy trying to help everybody else, trying to please everybody else, thus neglecting yourself. Because religions will tell you, you're an honorable man. You've done a great thing by doing that. Oh, God is going to bless you because, you know, you're suffering so other people don't have to suffer. I was reading in this book that the Buddha, he was seeking enlightenment. And he was doing all of these things afflicting his body. And he didn't find enlightenment until he stopped doing those things affecting his body, like torturing his body, doing all of these weird things that were affecting his body. Now, the book went on to explain that once he stopped affecting and afflicting his body, then he got a better understanding of enlightenment. But until then, he had no clue of enlightenment because he rejected his body, he neglected his body, and he actually did harm to his body. There's no way to connect to source energy. When you destroy your shell that houses your I am. You understand what I mean? But that's what was happening, and that's happening in religions world over. They tell you, suffering is good. You're actually seeing righteously in God's eyes by afflicting and destroying your body daily. And you think you're seeing these experiences when it's all just delusion from the mind not being able to function without the proper nutrients that it needs, and the brain can't function right. So you start, seeing these imaginations and things and going into these delusionary type states, you see. Luxury Class says, if there's any time, may I give 2 quick statements? Yes, you may, because I'm wrapping it up over here. I'll definitely give you the mic. So on that note, yeah, we'll wrap it up, and we'll leave it open for anybody else that has any other questions as well. Anybody you have any other questions, please, bring them forward. Let's work on your body. You work on your body, I'm going to work on my body. And and that inner man that's within there. You see, you got to fix these things so that you can, have ultimate amplification to receive and transmit positive energy in this world. On that note, over to you, luxury class. We'll give you the mic. Shabbat shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Rabbi.
Thank you for allowing me to mic quickly and keep it long. 2 points I want to make. If I can get a mic check, I'd appreciate it. My internet's been running really slow lately and choppy. Thank you. 2 points. Quick testimony last week on Shabbat. My mind was wandering. I made a fairly major purchase, and I later regretted it. I normally don't buy and sell on Sabbath. And a quick testimony as to how it can quickly change your peace, if you will, when you do something that is outside of what's correct. And that leads into my second point in a moment. I was not only that day, but the next day, and really the rest of the week, in many respects, was all blamed up. And I don't want to be negative here, but I'm turning this into a positive. I realized the error of my way. I willfully did it. I was wrong, and I paid in sowing and reaping as well. And so I learned my lesson, and I'm back on the track this week for sure. And the other thing is that related to the body and the dietary, I'm in my late 30s, thankful to be in pristine health. People, notice that, and I love to give credit to the Creator's diet instructions. In my early 20s, was eating all kinds of swine, and around age 26, I take care. Once I changed, and I started out in parts of your system, Randy, I simply because so isn't go against the Creator's instruction. He knows our bodies inside and out. People to live a life abundantly. And people say, now I have to eat that. Wait about it. What's the just do it then? Look at Deuteronomy 14, Genesis 1:29, and I'm telling you, I'm so blessed. And the body's so important because I can say in my early 20s, I said 2 quick points. So let me finish up. I love these topics.
Tada for that luxury class. Can everybody hear me, please?
It is believable.
You may want to talk again, luxury class, because you're coming in and out.
Sorry about that. I apologize for my internet connection. I was just going to say I can, another time, but I wanted to give esteem to the Heavenly Father for His wonderful instructions for His people in general. That definitely affects our body and our shell, and thankful for the Genesis, Leviticus 11, which one works instructions. Fantastic, and I've seen the difference. in my late 30s, and I'll close it out. Hence, about dietary that the Creator's given.
Okay, I think that luxury class has dropped out. Maybe having mic problems. Okay, so luxury class, do you want the mic again, or you finished? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so what I basically caught on the comments was that luxury class was saying that he's stuck to the diet of the Creator, and he's benefited tremendously in his 30s, and it shows in his health. So he's saying, bless the Creator. Baruch Shem Yahweh. Yeah, absolutely indeed. Bless the Creator. So follow the instructions, and before I sign off the Sabbath, I would suggest another thing that you may want to add to your cabinet of essential oils is the oil for lilac. Lilac has got a really nice smell, and it would also be very beneficial to ladies. Those of you who want to look young, you can apply it with a carrier oil to your skin, to your facial skin, to other skin, and it does remove, instead of paying for real expensive cosmetic stuff that costs you $50, $60, $70, maybe $100 a piece, this can do it for a lot less, and it can reduce your wrinkles. It can also tighten your skin, and it can be really beneficial for you in many other ways. Any flowers that you see in this country or other countries, Chinese medicine has all these flowers in their pharmacopoeia. They use it, and so I would suggest that you can use this flower for malaria. You can drink the tea. It's a great benefit to your stomach. It can also root out stomach worms, and it's greatly beneficial for many other symptoms that humans show. It's the lilac flower. Lilac is commonly grown in your garden. One day I had somebody present me this flower, and I said, make some tea. I'm all about flower medicines, because I studied the Chinese TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. So a lot of flowers are used in traditional Chinese medicine. Really, you ask me, is it okay to drink vitamin pills or vitamin pills from the store shelves? You can, Adelia, but you need to test your body. Does your body want that vitamin? Actually, now talking about tests, let me give you a self-test. You can do a self-test whether whatever food you're eating, whether it's good for your body or bad for your body. This is how you self-test it. Let's say you want to self-test for a vitamin. What you do, you take a vitamin tablet, you place it on your stomach, you stand up and you place it on your stomach, right at your navel, and you stand up straight and you breathe in, close your eyes, breathe out, and then let your body swoon. See which way your body swoons. If your body swoons back, that stuff is not good for you. If your body swoons forward, that stuff is good for you. That's how you can body test it. And you can do that test to every food item that you eat. And you can test it for, I did it one day for an egg. I wanted to test it for egg, if my body likes the eggs or if it doesn't like the eggs. I did it in the morning, first thing before I ate the egg, and my body told me that it likes the eggs. So somebody else's body may tell it doesn't like the eggs. So then they shouldn't be consuming eggs, because your body will tell you what it likes. And also your body will tell you if there's a vitamin, as you call it, vitamin, we call it in England, we call it vitamins. Vitamins, anything that your body don't like, it will tell you. So if a vitamin is not good for you, you apply it to your navel and you hold it, and then you do the test, the swoon test, and it will tell you whether it's right or not. Serenity 1063 is saying that I had a chance to help 5 individuals to recognize the ultimate energy source. They were happy to apply this energy to their family and business life. Praise be to the ultimate source. Absolutely. That is great. Very happy to hear that their lives can benefit from these teachings. And so I was saying that you can apply this energy test, the body test, to anything that you eat. Like some of you may be allergic to some items. Like sometimes people are allergic to peanuts, and sometimes people don't know and they can apply it. The swoon test is called the body test. What you do is you take anything that you want to eat. Before you eat it, you take it in your hand, and you can do it two ways. First way is you apply it to your navel umbilical cord. By the way, the umbilical cord is connected to 68,000 vessels in our body. That might be news to some of you. That is why when a baby is born, or before a baby is born, the baby is connected to the umbilical cord. That's how the baby is fed and nourished. Our umbilical cords are connected to around 68,000 vessels, arteries, minor arteries in the body. So, this might be a first for some of you. So you may want to test your food by applying it to the umbilical cord. Now, when I say food, I'm talking about egg, maybe rice grains, maybe lentil, maybe something else. The other way to do it is you don't have to apply it to the umbilical cord. You can just hold it in your hand, like, in your hand. You stand up, you hold it in your hand, let your hand kind of hang down as it normally does, your arm, and then you close your eyes, you breathe in, breathe out, see which way your body swoons. Let your body swoon naturally. If it swoons back, it's a negative, not good for your body. If it swoons forward, it's great for your body. That's the way to body test yourselves. So that's another first on Abrahamic faith. This is kind of information that's not available anywhere else, by the way. So then I will tell you something else that may be another remedy for great things that affect pain and other stuff that happens. If you ever have, let's say that you have pain in your stomach, it could be in the stomach, could be around the stomach, could be in the back, then one really good method is for you to do the umbilical oil method. And what you do, before you go to bed at night, you can take, and now you can do it with different oils, but different oils have different benefits, so ask when you do it. But with the coconut oil, you can take coconut oil and you can apply it inside your umbilical cord at night, and then an inch around it. Remember I was giving you the my inch test that I did when I was 22, 23 years old, when I did my moxa. See, that's the area. You got to do it inside your umbilical cord and around it about an inch, and rub the the coconut oil, and the coconut oil will then be absorbed by the umbilical cord to the 68,000 plus vessels. It will go wherever it needs to travel. The body will carry it, and it will have tremendous benefit to your body. So you can do that for back pains, for stomach pains, for other issues of the body. Different oils have different purposes. There's mustard oil, can do different purposes. There is, for instance, if you used what's the other oil that we have? I'm trying to think of the name. There is mustard oil, there's olive oil, and there's also other types of oil. Like as I keep saying, that different oils in the umbilical cord have different effects. So I'm trying to think of one oil that is good for applying there in the umbilical cord. This is a lot of the people in the East, by the way, do these kind of things. So don't be surprised by this kind of medication. Turkey is one of the countries that does this for the umbilical cord. They apply the oil in the umbilical side, and it's a common remedy for dryness in the body. And they use olive oil, by the way, for that. They use it for treating various conditions, usually to do with dry skin and other things going on. one of the things I highly recommend to people is that I highly recommend that you the ghee. Yeah, the ghee, you can do that. And the ghee, what I would do, Eddie, is if you body test an egg in the morning and the egg is good for you, then I would put 1 small teaspoon of ghee onto your egg after you fry it. It's really, really great to eat like that. Or if you don't want to do it that way, you can add it into some boiling water and you can eat it like that. And so the thing is that other than, I'm trying to think now, I think that probably is all I'm going to say now, because I don't want to overwhelm you with the information. That's enough information for today, and anything else we can cover another time. Any questions before I close the room? Yeah, that is great, Eddie. You can melt it in tea. There is something called, I'm trying to think of the name. That's like a coconut oil that's specially refined for brain power. I'm trying to, I can't get the name. The coconut oil, yeah, it's an MCT oil, the coconut oil. I'm trying to get the name for you. Give me a second, let me get the name. You can add that to your tea, to your smoothie, to your water or whatever, to drink in the morning. That's for the morning, by the way. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah, it is called Bulletproof Brain Octane Oil. Okay, Bulletproof Brain Octane Oil. A little bit on the slightly on the higher side in price. You have to pay a little bit more money to circulate some more money, but you can add that to your tea, smoothie or whatever. But you have to drink that first thing in the morning, i.e. when you wake up 5 o'clock. You know, you want to have a tea or a coffee. I keep saying tea because, you know, I'm from England, you know, and the East, we're more into tea drinkers. But if you guys drink coffee, no problem. You add it to your coffee. You can buy this from internet, many places. So it's called Brain Octane Oil. It's really virgin. It's really not olive oil. It's basically coconut oil. It's refined, specially refined to help with brain power. So those of you who work in offices, work in challenging jobs like engineering jobs, designing jobs, it's supposed to be really good for you. It's supposed to help you to concentrate, focus, and, you know, come out with new ideas, etc. So those kind of jobs, you know, where you have to do a lot of brain thinking, like people like myself, you know, who are into computer jobs, you know, engineering jobs, programming jobs, any kind of design jobs. It will be helpful. It may help you generally, whatever job you do, but it's one thing that I would recommend you look into. If you feel that you want to circulate your money in that direction, by all means look at it. It's called Brain Octane Oil. It's available all over the, you know, it's all over the internet, and you can probably buy it from many places. Although some people claim that it's better than others for them, and so they sell you, you're going to have to circulate a little bit more money with those kind of people. You can add it to the tea, you can add it to your coffee, to your smoothie, whatever you drink in the morning, whatever your food is, you can add it to that. That's what they describe. Yes, I am. I'm familiar with liposomal liquid vitamin C. Vitamin C is very good for you as well, and it's very, very helpful for cancers. Vitamin C, high dose is very good for cancers. So those of you who want to drink vitamin C, you can. And I think it's sometimes hard to chew all those tablets. Sometimes you can get the vitamin C in liquid forms, like luxury class is describing, which is the liposomal liquid vitamin C. That is good to have as well. So highly recommended in cancers. But again, you don't have to do it in cancer. I mean, you can do it without cancer as a how do they call it, prophylaxis. You know, we use this medical term. Prophylaxis means that to prevent a disease, to prevent your disease, you take it. And luxury class is saying it's been taken for 3 months, and you can feel the luxury class is saying that he's taking liposomal. Actually, he says liposomal liquid vitamin C, and it's helped him a lot. 3,000 milligrams a day. Oh, that's great. Yeah, because if you're going to take it, you're going to have slightly high doses. I noticed that in the US and the UK they were selling 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. There's about 10 of them in a little bottle pack or a plastic pack, and the 1,000, if you're ill or if you've got flu or you've got fever, I would recommend to my students, friends, I would say you got to take at least 4 a day for that. So 1 is not enough, and that was like a little effervescent drink. But if you can get the liposomal, which is supposed to absorb quicker, then you can drink that. It might be easier to drink that 3,000 milligrams or so. Right, so liposomal vitamin, according to the statistics and according to luxury class, it absorbs faster, and 93% of it absorbs. It is a bit on the upside, by the way. You're going to have to circulate a bit more money on that front. If you are into vitamins, good health, then that may be something you may want to look at. Okay, great. Alright, so have a great Shabbat in North America. Those of you in North America, the great country of the United States, and those of you in the other countries, yes, I can tell you how to bring your hair back. You just touched the subject that was on my lips, on my tongue, like this morning. I didn't speak about it. The way to bring your health hair back, health hair and healthy hair. In India, they use 2 types of things, in Pakistan. They use amla oil. Amla is like a gooseberry. You can find those oils in most Indian stores. You won't find them in Arab stores, by the way. Mostly Arab stores don't carry those for some reason. So, and also mustard oil. The best one that I have found is mustard oil and amla oil. Amla is A-M-L-A. It's a green color gooseberry. I remember I used to eat those in England. They're growing wild on bushes. So the green colored gooseberry, they make an oil out of it, and they India especially, they make amla oil out of these gooseberries, and they especially grow them for hair products. So you can buy these ready-made oils, shampoos and stuff from most of these stores. Amla is A-M-L-A. There's no R in it. And mustard oil must be the Indian variety mustard oil. You can buy that in most Indian. Look for Indian store mustard oil, or Pakistani store if you live in New York, Queens, those kind of areas. Orlando maybe. A lot of Pakistani and Indian stores there. And try not to buy from other stores, because in mustard oil you must rub it on your hair daily. It can turn your hair black, by the way. It can also turn gray hair follicles to black hair follicles. So that's another little tip for you today. And it can grow hair. So it can grow hair. It can reverse baldness, by the way. Yep, it can reverse baldness. If you start applying it, you can grow new hairs. And I've been experimenting with it, and yes, I've been growing new hairs on my head where there were no hairs. So I'm starting to count my hairs now. First it was just 1, now it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's like going up every day. So apply it daily. Mustard oil is great. Great hair to grow your hairs. Great oil. Get your wife or whoever is your partner, wife, husband, get them to rub it in your hair daily. Maybe a 4 or 5 minute massage, little tapping on the head, and that will be great for your head. So mustard oil, usually get it from Indian, Pakistani stores. Bengali stores sell it. I find it very difficult to buy from Arab stores. I went over here in Ohio. I went to about 3 different Arab stores. Pretty useless. None of them had it. So I was like, what the heck you got the stores open for? You don't even sell mustard oil. And so, I had no such problem. If I went to New Jersey, if I went to some other place, tons of Indian and Pakistani stores, and they all carry it. So, try and find a store. Even Pensacola, Florida, If there's only one Bengali store, even they have it over there, so, and I looked at about 4 or 5 Arab stores in Ohio, none of them carry it. So Ohio, no go for mustard oil. So stick to what you know best. Stick to Florida, stick to New York, stick to New Jersey. You'll find it all over there. Yes, there is amla powder as well, but again, amla powder is probably from the same gooseberry, and you can use that too for sure. Really, really good stuff. I highly recommend it, and get to grips with it, get to learn the effects of it. It's very, very good for many areas of your life. So those of you looking into hair, especially ladies, definitely use it. Rabitzin Betzion is saying that she mixes it with mustard oil and then uses it on her hair. May I ask how it helps your hair? Are you using it for shine or growth, or are you using to make the hair black? Because it can help in all those areas. It can turn grey hairs into darker too. Okay, both. Okay, so she's using it for both shine and lush and healthy hair. So ladies, use it for shine, lush, healthy hair, and you can get the powder, mix it in with mustard oil, vice versa. There's another way to do it. Another way to do it is you can take mustard oil and you can mix in fenugreek seed. You can take some mustard oil in a little fry pan, and you can roast fenugreek seeds in there, maybe a spoonful, and then just leave them in there and use that oil. It becomes really powerful for your head, really powerful. That's to add oomph to it. Okay, all right. So we'll leave that, and we'll get on with it, because the whole idea of our faith is not some mumbo jumbo, ritual that gives you nothing. The whole idea of our faith is to live our faith, live our life as instructed by God, and to have a great and abundant life. I'll leave you with that one last information. We came out of God. God, as you all know, what the science tells you is that the universe was created out of nothing, or just suddenly appeared, boom, it came out from nothing, nowhere. We all came out from God. Now, you may call God Yahweh, you may call God Allah, you may call God, Bhagwan or Parameshwar, whatever titles you like to give to God. God is the source of everything, and God has created us. So if God has created us out of Himself, then we have abundance as our birthright. So I will leave you with that. Something to think about, something to mull over. Have a great Shabbat, great week ahead. Until next week, have a great time. And those of you keeping the festival coming up, have a great festival, Chag Sameach, great Pentecost festival. Give thanks to God, enjoy yourselves, have some cheesecake, and have some nice meal, fish meal or beef or lamb meal, roasted beef, roasted lamb. That's the order of the day for our festivals, or usually nice grilled fish meal. And then you could top it off with some cheesecake or some chocolate cake. Costco sells some real great chocolate cake, and then you can wash it down with some kosher red wine. So that'd be really nice. Take care of yourselves. Shabbat shalom, shalom, shalom.